Hey friends, welcome to another Pickacard. This week we're back at you with a Nightmare Before Christmas themed Pickacard, which we're both very excited about. This has been one of my favorite movies since I was a very, very, very small child. So it's something that's very near and dear to my heart. But the theme of this reading is from Sally's song, which is What is in the Wind, or I think there's something in the wind. So it's going to kind of tell you what things are blowing in for you, some changes that are happening, but it's a Halloween themed reading and we'll be posting it. Obviously, it's not Halloween yet when we're filming it, but it should be posted around Halloween 2021. So if you're watching this, hey, happy Halloween. Very excited. Otherwise, it is going to be a timeless reading. So even though we're doing it for Halloween and it's Halloween themed, this is a reading that you can watch at any point, especially if you're someone like me who loves Nightmare Before Christmas. Anytime is a good time for this movie / reading. But we have 4 piles. So what we're going to do is we have tarot, we have oracles, we have actually some handmade oracles too that I made. They kind of tell us, some of them are like what type of person you need to embody, or like the character that you get from the show and like why they came out for you. And then the other ones are quotes that have specific channeled messages on them. We also have this, I'm going to be doing charms and stickers, so I'm really excited to kind of give us an idea of maybe some stuff to expect to come. But yeah, so we have a lot going on today, but I'll go ahead and I'll break the piles down so that we can get started. This is pile 1. So this says, there are few who deny it what I do. I am the best, for my talents are renowned far and wide. When it comes to surprises in the moonlit night, I excel without ever even trying. So, and that's from Jack's, actually, I think 3 of these songs are from Jack's Lament, which is a great song. But the first pile is Jack and Zero, and then you got the Boo Pumpkin. The second pile is Oogie Boogie and Creep It Real. And it says, say it once, say it twice, take a chance and roll the dice. That's pile 2. And then pile 3 is Sally, and it says, trick or treat yourself. And then it says, just because I cannot see it doesn't mean I can't believe it, for the pile topper. And then the 4th pile is Lock, Shock, and Barrel, which are the 3 kids that kidnap Santa Claus. And then you have Hallow Weird, the pumpkin.
Kidnap Santa Claus, beat him with a stick.
Yes. And then it says, oh, there's an empty place in my bones that calls out for something unknown. So pick a pile, whichever one looks good for you. You can pick more than one pile. So if you like more than one pile, feel free to do so. But we're going to go ahead, we'll get started, and we're going to start with pile 1, which is Jack and Zero. If you picked pile 1, you picked Jack and Zero, which is also the Boo Pumpkin. This reading is about what's in the wind. So this is going to be some changes that are coming in, some things that are, happening for you, maybe some gifts or blessings that are coming in as well. And this is Nightmare Before Christmas themed, if you didn't know that already or didn't listen to the intro, but it is a timeless reading. So it doesn't matter when you're watching this, it's still relevant to the time that you watch it. And then your quote is, there are few who deny it what I do. I am the best, for my talents are renowned far and wide. When it comes to surprises in the moonlit night, I excel without ever even trying. So for you guys, we have tarot, we have oracles, we have handmade oracles, and then we also have the Nightmare Before Christmas wheel to do some charms and stickers on, to kind of see what to expect, maybe some time frames on some stuff that's changing or that's coming in for you guys whenever you're watching this. But yeah, we'll go ahead and get started. The first thing I can say is that Jack is my fave, but Zero, the dog, is very underappreciated. But I also think with this pile, there's a lot of talents and stuff that are being developed. which is very, very exciting. So
Mhm.
we're going to get you some cards to see what's coming in the winds.
I
You
can
didn't
say the
know.
dog is my favorite character.
Zero. Yes. He's very cute. We'll see if they'll send us 4 cards and then the bottom of the deck to see kind of what's coming in. That was way too many cards. And I'm doing live shuffle for all of the cards, all of the oracle cards and the tarot. Which these ones I haven't used that much because I care about them too much. So this is the Knight of Swords. Oh, exciting. Okay. You have the King of Presents, which is the King of Pentacles. Oh. You have, okay. You have the Eight of Swords. And we'll do one more. They sent out 2. So you have the Emperor. And then you also got Temperance. And then the bottom of the deck is the Hermit. So some major changes are happening for you. So we'll just get into it. So right away, what I can tell you is these changes are coming fast. So whenever you're watching this, I would expect them to come in like within the next like few weeks to like a month or 2. Like they're coming in very, very quickly. Because your Knight of Needles is the fastest moving knight. And so for me, like that means things are coming in fast. Now, the Knight of Needles, because it's a swords card, generally that comes with clarity and things that have to do on the mental realm. But right next to it, you have the King of Pentacles, the King of Presents, which is a very grounded energy. So what this tells me is that you're going to be coming into an energy that is very grounded, and it's almost like you're grounding your thoughts into reality, or you're grounding like your wishes and your stability into your reality. And I feel like you're going to be coming into a place that has a lot more stability, not only like financially, but also emotionally. I feel like you're letting go of things and taking the mask off, and you're stepping into your Emperor power. So basically, for some of you, you might have Aries or Virgo in your chart. I can't remember what Temperance is astrology wise. Thank you, Sagittarius. So those are those 3, and then of course Earth, and then 2 air cards came out. But basically I feel like you're being asked to kind of step into that more like fiery but also grounded energy. And the way that you're going to do this is by practicing, I know everybody hates this, but balance and patience are really important for you. But so is going in and doing that deeper soul work and asking yourself those questions that help you get out of this Eight of Swords energy. So for a lot of you, like there might be some things that you're feeling stuck in. And it's been taking a lot of patience, and it's been taking a lot of strength to kind of sit there. But I think Spirit is basically saying like, you're going to be coming through a time where you're no longer going to be stuck in that place, and you're going to be able to take that blindfold off yourself and step into your power. And so anything that's been kind of like stuck or stagnant, you're going to have some clarity coming in that's going to allow you to step into a place of stability, step into a place of power, of being in an energy that actually resonates for you, where you don't feel stuck anymore. But to get there, you have to really balance out things that are going on inside and outside, as well as practice patience. And so it just takes the time of looking in and balancing your dualities and your inner divine masculine and inner divine feminine, which everybody has those regardless of what your gender is or what you recognize yourself as. But basically it's about balancing those, and then also balancing like your spirituality with your practicality, like making sure that you're taking care of like yourself on a physical and emotional and mental level, like all of those things at the same time. That's going to really help you break free from feeling like you're trapped, because you're going to be able to spend time on those things and help yourself heal. Self-care is going to be really important for this group for the next probably few months, I would say.
Yes. Okay. So I got a couple different little channel messages. So the first one that I got was before we started recording was Blue Suede Shoes by Elvis. So if that song means something to you, or maybe you need to listen to it, or just gets you in a good mood, check it out. Also, when Bekah was talking about timing, for some of you, I heard within 24 hours, some of these changes are going to start happening, which is super fast. And like, they could be really subtle changes. So like, you know, even if like, you're like, ugh, nothing really happened. Like, you might look back later and be like, oh, that's when it all started. It was 24 hours after I watched that reading. Oh, crap. But for some of you, you might see some changes within 24 hours. That also put 24 hours by, I think it's 17 in my head. That song. So that could be something for you. And then I also got Free, which is an anime. It's an anime about these guys on a swim team. I don't really know why that's important. Maybe it's just something that's comforting for you, or it's something like where you'll watch it and you'll get a lot of inspiration. I've heard it's really good. I've never actually seen it myself. But yeah, those are the channel messages that came through. As far as the tarot goes, I basically agree with everything that was said. And I just think that you guys, like, kind of what I'm hearing along the lines of, it's kind of like this, I see like a runner, right? And the finish line is really close. And it's just kind of like, it's like two messages, right? So one message is like, keep going, but the other one is like, don't try and race to the end either. They want you to kind of enjoy the last bit of the stroll before things start to really shift and change for you. So it's kind of like a because I feel like some of you are in this like hermit mode and you're slowly coming out of things, and they're saying like, don't necessarily rush out of it and into like this new chapter. Like, take your time, because it's going to come as fast as it needs to, and speeding up and exhausting yourself is not going to get you there any quicker.
Yes, make sure that you're staying in that grounded energy. That's very specific, because you have the King of Pentacles and the Emperor. Those are both very grounded cards. Like, even though the Emperor is Aries, he's on his throne and he's grounded and he's very stable. So they want you to lean into that a little bit. So if you have any Aries or you have any Earth placements, like, those are maybe some things that you can look at and see where those are at in like your astrology chart, and see if those would be helpful for you. To feel grounded. If you can see if there's self-care or something that you can do that would help those signs specifically, you can Google that. Or you can, just, you can even message us and we can help you with that. So, but basically just finding self-care practices that help you feel grounded is really important, especially with big changes coming in, because sometimes those can be really overwhelming. Okay. So I have oracle cards for you. Let me go ahead and grab them here. So we have 2 rounds. The first ones are going to be, I'm calling them the natural oracle cards. But basically we'll get you some of the Halloween oracle cards that I have. Just because, in sticking with the theme, you have, oh man. Okay, you have chocolate, which is aphrodisiac. Okay. Well, interesting. That's exciting. And then the other one you have is eucalyptus, which is breathe, which I think that goes kind of along with that whole like feeling like you can finally breathe out and relax. Okay. And I've never used these animal cards before because they really only call out to me around Halloween. So I'm excited. Okay, the first one that you got is a wren, which is a type of bird, and it's awareness. And then we'll have to move over in there. more. And then the second one you got is bat, which is direction. Perfect for Halloween, might I add. Just to show you, the bottom of the deck is magpie, which is addiction. And then I'm going to do 3 of the Green Witch Oracle, which are some of my favorite cards like ever, to give us a little bit more of an idea. Okay. You got number 33, which is wholeness, black mulberry. This is also an Aquarius card. The number 6 or the number 3 or the number 33, 36, 63 could all be important for you. You got the number 38, which is hope, the daffodil, and this is Taurus energy. We'll do one more. And then number 35, which is focus, which is stock. And then this, this is Sagittarius. I was like, I can't see it. This is Sagittarius energy. So again, you have a repeating thing with Sagittarius. You did have some air signs come out, which Aquarius is an air sign. And then you have Taurus, which is an earth sign. At the bottom of the deck is number 27, which is duality. It's banana. And I don't know if this one has a sign on it. I don't think it does. So, right. We'll get into it. So basically, I see coming in for you guys, because this is all about change. I feel like you're going to be in a lot more situations that make you feel like you're indulging in things that make you happy. You're going to be having like a sense of awareness, a sense of direction. You're going to feel like you know where you're going. Like I said, it's going to feel like that blindfold is being pulled off so that you can see the path ahead. And I feel like you're going to be getting a lot of clarity very quickly. Like that's just kind of the vibe that I'm getting. And it's going to allow you to see things in a way that you've never been able to see it, whether you can see the bigger picture or the details, but it's going to allow you to breathe out and have hope and to remain focused. And I feel like with this wholeness, like it's saying you're going to feel like you can see it all. Like you have the whole cake now. Like instead of like being like, okay, well, you know, I can only see half of the picture. Now you can see the full picture. Or, you know, let's say like you're waiting for the moon to show at night and like there's clouds in front of it. Those clouds are clearing out of the way and you can see the moon like in all of its glory and like in all of its brightness. Like you're going to have the full picture, and that's going to allow you to move forward with hope and direction and to feel stable and know that you're on the right path. Like that's like something big that they're trying to tell you is like you are on the right path, and you're going to be getting that clarity that you need if you're feeling lost or if you're feeling stuck or like you can't see what's going to happen. Like Spirit's going to help you through that. So I think they want you to breathe and they want you to do things that make you feel good. Whether that be having chocolate cake or meditating or taking a nice hot bath. Using essential oils could be really big for this group. Like you might be sensitive to smells or foods. Like they're saying, you know, let yourself have those things and to enjoy life and know that this clarity is going to come regardless of what you do or don't do. Like this is something that's meant to come to you at just the right time. And I feel for most of you, like you've been kind of waiting for some clarity to come in, and they're saying like, we heard you put in your order and we're giving that to you. Like we're giving you that direction that you've been asking for.
Yes. I agree. I almost said I concur. I never say that word. I don't know if that's something for someone. But I actually agree with that very much wholeheartedly. I'm really focused on the chocolate, the aphrodisiac card. And I'm kind of trying to hear them about why. I think this has to do with self-care, and kind of what I'm getting is like it's kind of like some of you need to do kind of like a spa day of some kind, like because I'm seeing like a coffee scrub or like a coffee chocolate scrub and like using that and like giving yourself like a bath and taking your time in that and like because I almost think that like there's this part of your life that needs to be slowed down a little bit, and that's where a lot of your awareness and direction is going to come from, because you're going to stop to breathe and take care of yourself, and that's going to actually bring things into focus, because when we're whole and one with ourselves, we start to bring up things from spirit that help us move forward. And for this group, I get a lot of like, you're kind of always on the go, like how I was talking about earlier, like no matter how fast you try and race to the finish line. Actually, the perfect example is when I was learning how to drive, I had a driving teacher, and he always used to tell me that no matter, he said that what used to crack him up is that he would see these cars race, right? All the way to get to the light, and he'd be going the speed limit, and he was, you know, teaching me to go the speed limit, obviously. And he's like, and then you'll notice that you're both waiting at the red light anyway, because the red light's still going to happen no matter how fast you're going. So that's kind of what I get for you guys, is like, don't rush to any type of place, because like everything that's meant for you is meant for you and it's going to happen, but you might miss out on some like key moments or things that you could have stopped to enjoy, or like ideas that you could have had or that could come easier to you if you're willing to slow down and kind of stop and take care of yourself. Like getting that extra hour of sleep, you might have a dream that gives you some ideas that like you wake up and you write down, or you know, taking that bubble bath, you might be in there and you might start getting ideas or feeling really refreshed and recharged, so that you actually are able to do that thing you didn't think you were going to have the energy to do. And that's just kind of like what I'm getting. It's like the more that you come within and start taking care of like yourself and doing that self-care, doing those beauty things, like whatever it is that you need for you, the more awareness and direction and, you know, that's going to sprout into your life, that's going to move you forward. And you're not going to be running late. I think that's the thing that they want to stress the most. It's like the more you care about yourself, the faster you're actually going to get to where you want to go. The more you try to not care about yourself and rush, like it's not that it's going to slow you down, but it's like you're going to realize that like, oh, I kind of exhausted myself for nothing because I'm still getting there whenever I was supposed to.
Yes, definitely. Something that's coming to mind, so Laina said 24 hours, and it's stuck with me because the song 24 Hours by Shawn Mendes is stuck in my head, and it keeps repeating like over and over again. And then something that was pointed out to me is you got two animals that can fly. And I think Spirit's basically saying like, you know, you're already moving very, very quickly. And so don't try to force yourself to move even faster. Another thing is that for this group, some of you may be experiencing travel soon, which is really exciting because for a lot of people that's been shut down for a while. So you might be experiencing some travel because you have those references to like taking flight. And in 24 hours, it's talking about, he's talking about like coming home to the person that he loves. But he does mention like signing a check and getting on a plane. So just thought I would point that out for you. That may be something that's happening. Another thing is with that bat, they have echolocation. So listening is really, really important for you. So I'm hearing that listening to specifically like listening out for messages, whether that be through music or just kind of quieting yourself enough and quieting your mind enough to listen to what Spirit's telling you, because you already have the direction and the compass inside of you. And that's something that they wanted to emphasize as well. But yes. It's still not going away. It's an important song. We'll listen to it.
I have that other Shawn Mendes song, the You Got Plans Tonight.
Oh, Japan.
Yeah, that one. From Japan tonight. Which you already had some Japanese references with anime, so maybe some of you are going on a trip to Japan, which would be awesome. I'm jealous. I want to go there.
They were tricky. They sent out two at once, but that's fine.
Ooh, big Venus energy. A lot of you are going to probably be stumbling into a relationship or a new relationship cycle because you have that 8th house, endings and beginnings.
Yes, and at the bottom of the deck is abundance, so this is kind of what's hidden from you right now. So you may not see it yet, but that's kind of the point. Wait, let me get you some Moonology. I think I'm going to be able to fit all these still. Oh, yes, and I forgot to tell you I'm live shuffling everything. Nothing is yet set in stone. Oh, they sent out 2. Yep. Okay. Nothing is yet set in stone, along with a new start is coming.
Hey, what did I just say about the new cycle? They're definitely saying that you're clearing out the old like relationship karma that you've had. And this is even not just for some of you, like this is definitely a big focus on like a romantic relationship. But for others of you, like who are like not really that interested in romance right now, or like you're just like meh, like it, and you're really not there. Well, some of you, too bad anyway, love's coming in. But for those of you who really are not like it's not on the table and you're just kind of like you're good with that and like whatever, the karma that's clearing is like the way you treat yourself, because Venus is not just about like love with another partner, and nor is Libra. It's also like Bekah was talking about in the tarot, the balance between your masculine and feminine. That's actually really starting to come into fruition. And sometimes when I see that nothing yet is set in stone card, I almost get like a little bit triggered myself, right? Because I'm like, what do you mean nothing is set in stone? Because Bekah and I both have a little bit of issues with control, just a little bit, where like we want things to be set in stone. But I've started to like in my own healing journey start to see that card can actually really be a good thing, because it means that like if you see or hear anything right now that you don't like or that's in your life, you have the ability right now to shift it and change it and make it malleable. And that's actually going to be, and I think that's kind of what spirit wants for you, is to like work with them on like, okay, what are these things that you're not liking that you want to shift, and like meet us and we'll meet you and we'll shift these things to be like to balance them out, to end this cycle and like start you in this new one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely agree. I mentioned balance multiple times in your tarot cards. 8th house, endings, beginnings. That's traditionally the house of Scorpio, which if you're watching this live, it is Scorpio season. While we're filming this / when we post this, and we just came out of Libra season. So keep that in mind. Now, obviously, if you're not watching this when we posted it, then just take that as a, potentially change could happen during that time frame, which Libra is in October. And then, late September, early October. It's the 23rd of September, I believe, to the 23rd of October. And then 24th of November to the 22nd of November, or 24th of October to the 22nd of November is Scorpio season. So just keep that in mind. Venus rules over Libra. It also rules over Taurus, which is in May, June-ish. So those could be time frames for you. But really what this is talking about is just like Laina said, like it's about transformation and a new start, a new beginning. And I wanted to point that out with these. I was laughing because this one says witch. It's number 36 again. And it says the magic you seek is inside of you. Let it flow, which I just talked about how you already have everything you need inside, which is part of taking that blindfold off. And the way you're going to get there is by going through the void, which is dark moon number 1.
Which is that hermit energy.
Yep. Number 35 is change, which is thunder moon, which again, we just talked about change. And then the other one is number 17, which is minimus, which is commune with the source. So a lot of you are being called, like I said, to really go within and to sit with yourself and to really balance things out internally. And that's what's really bringing this new beginning to you. Like I said, spending time in meditation, self-care, like Laina and I have been talking about, taking a bath, quieting things down, calming things down when you can. So, I mean, obviously, if you're, if you're busy and you're working and stuff like that, like it's not easy for everybody, especially if you have like a family or things that you have responsibilities for. It's not easy to get time to yourself sometimes, but it's extremely necessary. And
Mhm.
so it's even if you carve out like 15 minutes to do like a guided meditation, or, if you go to the gym for like 30 minutes and you try to focus on your breathing and focus on like, connecting in that way. Like you can do it that way too. You can do it through your art. So if you make art in any way, like if you do music, if you do painting, if you do photography, drawing, whatever it may be, like you can channel through that as well. And you can channel your emotions and things into that. And that can pull things out and help you heal them. Um, but really spending time with yourself, getting that you time, that alone time to really look inside and to let your emotions and stuff kind of flow freely, and to not like, push everything down for your responsibilities. Like that's really big for you. Giving yourself that love and that grace and that peace is really big in allowing for this to come in a very comforting and healing way, instead of a way where it has to force itself in, if that makes sense. Like this change is going to happen regardless, but it's up to you whether it comes in and you feel good, or whether it comes in and it's like, everything is chaos. Like it's kind of like you have to find that like peaceful place within yourself, so that while these changes are going on, you feel grounded and stable.
Mhm. I wanted to point out that on a lot of your cards that you had, especially in the last oracle pile, they kind of all started with 3. So the number 3 can be really important. And I wish I had said it earlier because it would have been great confirmation. But earlier I had heard that like the number 1 was important. And then I was like, oh, well, like they're just saying that because this is group 1. But the number 1 is important. And then you had that card number 1. And then I also heard something about like life path number 1. So if you know anything about your life path, that could be a confirmation for you that this is the correct pile. Now, if you are not a life path number 1, don't think like that it's not your pile, because it totally still could be, but it's just, maybe for someone they need to hear that. But with that, I'm also hearing like that is for you to know that like you're number 1 in your life. And there's a lot of I saw this like painting when Bekah was talking, and so maybe some of you are artists, and it's like this person and they're like looking, and there are like tears, right? Like kind of like black tears kind of coming down their face. And I almost feel like it's their like, right, like their shadow, right? Like those parts of them that they don't, or like the stuff that they're keeping inside that they're not sharing with other people because they're putting so many other people first. And kind of what I'm getting from that is that there needs to be a switch in that, and knowing that you're number 1 in your life and not the commitments that you've made to anybody else. Like, because here's the thing, a lot of us get stuck on the fact of like, oh, I promised that person. And does it feel great to tell someone that like you can't keep the promise that you made? No. But sometimes it's necessary, because sometimes, like, for example, you promised your boss that you would work overtime every Friday this week, but then you realize that you're really burnt out. And I mean, every Friday this week, every Friday for this month, right? But you realize that you're really burnt out and that you're not sleeping well, you're not doing well. Like, you have the right to tell your boss, like, hey, can I like actually switch it up to do overtime like this Friday, then skip a Friday, then do the next Friday, and like, I'll just kind of like balance it out. Like, I'll still do 4 overtimes, but I'm going to space it out a little bit more. And I know that like for some people their bosses are jerks and they'll be like, no, that's too bad. And then, that maybe you should consider quitting that job if you can. But the point that I'm making is that sometimes as humans we make these commitments, and we live in this society that tells us that you always have to honor your commitments because that makes you an honorable person. And well, yes, there is some truth to that, because you don't want to be someone that promises that I'm going to be there next week and then you never show up, right? Like, you don't really want to do that either. I was like, but there has to be, like, I just feel like you guys are not those people. You're not the people that say, I'm going to be there next week and then you don't show up. You're the people that show up every week because you said you were going to, even if you're sick with a fever, like, and you need to be at home in bed taking a rest, like you worked a double shift the night before, and your boss calls and says, I need you to work again, instead of being like, no, man, I just worked a double shift. You'll be like, okay, I'll be there in 4 hours. Like, that's what I'm saying. That's what they're saying, is like, you guys have to stop and remember that you're number one, and that you don't have to keep every commitment and every promise that you've ever made. If you have a chance to get out or go a different way, and because that way feels better to you, it's okay for you to take that, even if some people get disappointed.
Mm-hmm. Yes, definitely. So I'm going to shuffle out some of our homemade oracles for you guys. The first one that we have is going to be which character from Nightmare Before Christmas you can embody, maybe some traits. And then the second one, we'll actually get two of these. These have channeled messages and quotes from the movie. So we'll start with your person. Let's see who comes out.
If you get Jack, I'll scream.
Everybody scream. I actually have no idea which ones are which anymore. You got Sally. So it says sweet, shy, crafty, resourceful, devoted, psychic, Virgo, and Libra, which both of those came out. And then psychic abilities, love, and hope. So leaning more into like that crafty, resourceful, balanced side of yourself is really important for you. So if you watch the movie, Sally can be kind of sneaky too, so I kind of get some Scorpio vibes as well. But I definitely think that using the abilities that you have and the resources that you have is really important for you, and tapping into like your psychic abilities and into like that hope energy is really important for you as well.
And you had an oracle card that said hope, so it seems like having hope that like things can shift and change is really important for you too.
Yes, I would agree with that. Okay, there's one. Nope. Okay, there's two. They were going to give you more than that, but that's fine. Okay. So your first one is, oh, there's an empty place in my bones that calls out for something unknown, which is pile 4's pile topper, actually. And it says skeletons, Halloween, pumpkin, apples, food, the number 3 and the number 1.
Lol.
Green, black cats, travel. That came out too. Lapis lazuli, crystals, curtains, car rides, and road lights. So again, all that travel stuff.
Yes. And I did not know about that, what Bekah wrote in those oracles, when I said 3 and 1 were important, by the way.
Right. And she had, we it's not like we planned it. You watched me shuffle them. So it says, my dearest friend, if you don't mind, I'd like to join you by your side where we could gaze into the stars and sit together now and forever, which is Jack and Sally. And that's from their song. And it's constellations, picnic blankets, stargazing, astrology, spirituality again, love, dates, video games, and the song Hey Stupid I Love You by JP Saxe and the color purple, which is very soft. So let's figure these out.
Super soft stuff, guys.
Yeah.
And I want to mention that love was emphasized a lot for you guys.
It really was. That's like the most romantic line I think I have on all of these. Just saying. So let me grab our little wheel and we'll do a quick look-see to see what charms and stickers you get, which we haven't done in a while on our channel. So I'm really excited. That's my favorite. And I have all sorts of stickers. So pumped. Yes. My favorite. Okay.
I think in our last reading, yes, in the Dia de los Muertos, I did stickers. So I think we'll be bringing them back as we feel called.
Yes. Okay, so here's our wheel. And we'll do just like a few charms. Just let them drop. Okay. So we have Hamgam that came out. He wanted to say hello. This is Ki-hyun from Monsta X's bear. Gam means bear in Korean.
He's a Scorpio.
Yes, he is a Scorpio, which I mentioned that. He's actually a Scorpio Sagittarius cusp, but because of where the US is / Western astrology is at, he was technically a Scorpio, even though his birthday is the 22nd. But anyways, that's a long-winded story for another time. But basically, this is somebody who's very resourceful, like I said. He can actually exhibit a lot of like the mom energy, of like the nurturing energy, very grounded, very practical. So that's out here in the wings. And then speaking of wings, you got angel, like a little angel, and it says made for an angel.
Cute.
So this could just be that, like, you know, first of all, spirituality seems to have come out a lot in this group. So tapping into your spirituality could be really important. You have angels looking out for you. You have a lot of guides and ancestors and loved ones that are around you at all times for, you know, you to reach out for help with. You have a little compass here between June and May. So that might be when some travel opportunities come up around that time. So in the summertime. And we did talk about Scorpio, or not Scorpio, Taurus season potentially, because Taurus came out and that's around that time. So it could be that you have a travel opportunity coming up around that time. And then in November, you have the little music notes, which, like I said, when we're filming this, it's Scorpio season, but it's still October, obviously, because Halloween. But November, there could be some sort of art related situation. Maybe there's a concert that you're going to, or, you know, some music comes out that's really, really important for you in some way. Like maybe there's like an artist. I think Adele's new album comes out this year in November, I think.
I was just gonna mention that.
So that could be important for you in some way, shape, or form. But regardless, there's also like the making music. So like, and that makes me think of Making Christmas, the song from Nightmare Before Christmas. So that could be something for you as well, that maybe you're going to be creating something that, you know, gets really big, or like that's really important, or like well, I think Monsta X has a comeback too in November, right? And then who else has a comeback in November? Somebody else does.
A lot of groups, but
a lot of groups do. Yes. So if you're into K-pop scene, November is a really important time. So just keep that in mind as well. But those could be some messages with the charms. I'll get you more stickers than that, but I didn't want to like throw charms everywhere. So I have like a whole handful. But stickers are a completely different story. Don't mind the massive box of stickers that I have. I have a slight obsession, probably a problem, if I'm going to be honest. Okay, plenty. All right. So we'll see. This is kind of on the outskirts. And then you have a lot going on down here. Like, even though I held it up here, like a lot of it landed down here. So it might be that, like, you know, whatever that music thing was might be important for now, if you're watching this like real time. And then you have some stuff coming up. This is actually really cool because this is a national park sticker. So you might be, if you're in the US or if you're not, you might be traveling to Yosemite, which would be really, really cool around like January, February. More travel, home. Oh, this is so soft. Okay. I'm going to leave these. Yes. We're going to leave these over here for a second. I'm just going to clear some of this off so it's not as intense. Okay. There we go. Compartmentalized, like a true Virgo. Okay. So you have the Time Lords, which is number 12, but I don't remember what that is off the number. Is it the Tower?
I think it is the Tower, but let me double check.
Okay. This was out on the outside of the wheel, so this doesn't have like a set time frame, but if it is the Tower, then it's all about rapid change. So the next, you know, since we're starting here, if you're watching it live time, like for the next like half a year, so 6 to 8 months, there's going to be a lot of very rapid change.
It's the Hanged Man.
Hanged Man. So that actually makes a lot of sense too, because this might feel like how you've been feeling, but that's going to be changing very, very, very quickly, because along with that came out the Jellyfish, which is a go with the flow energy. So as long as you're going with the flow, you're going to break out of this Hanged Man energy. And then this was in April, which is Peach. So treating yourself to something sweet might be important. You might have a situation that feels peachy in April. There might be some reason to be happy. Over April, May, June-ish, you have the I'm Glad You Came skeleton. This is the Grim Reaper. So this is going to be maybe like some benefits that you reap from going through this transformational cycle. You have a smile couple. You have a girl saying no.
Cute.
You have always believed something beautiful is about to happen. So that's really cool. This is actually a winter sticker. So I wouldn't be surprised if something that's happening here also lasts all the way over here. You have lungs, which you did get that card about breathing.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have the tiger, which to me is all about being brave and about standing in your power and your energy. So, you know, through this time, like maybe this is like the time where the changes are starting to flow in. And then like all of the things that you're going through now, this is all of the reward down here. You also have You Rock Babe along with Time for Adventure, which is a summer sticker. So it makes sense that it came out with the June-May section. And then all of these are July, August, September. So you have 'Tis the Season to Be Jolly, which again has to do with this time frame. So maybe again, you're doing something in the winter time that pays off big time over the summer. You have the tennis rackets, which for me, this is about like having fun, playing games, exercising, getting out there, going back and forth. Maybe you'll be traveling back and forth. Be a good human. You have the girl with her arms outstretched. She looks like she's like on a boat or like going on an adventure.
Mm-hmm.
You have the death card.
Fiend.
Transformation. Date night. You have the Disney castle that says home. So some of you might, right? Some of you could be getting a fairy tale. Some of you could be getting a new home. And then you have the big giant Jeep, which for me is all about travel. So for a lot of you, like maybe it's that you make some changes and you find out like, oh, well, I'm going to move. And so you travel and are trying to like kind of figure out where you want to move to. And then you finally decide. And then all of a sudden, all of this stuff starts changing. Or maybe you move like in these months and it changes. Or you know, make all of these changes and they start to pay off. And you're like, oh gosh, now I have enough money and enough time that I can move to XYZ and make myself a new home. Like that's something that could come in. I also see, obviously, there's some references to romance in here as well. So that could be coming in as well. There's just a lot of excitement is kind of what I'm getting over like the summer period. So whenever you find this, however close you are to like the April through August period, there's a lot going on in that time frame.
Mm-hmm. You also might be moving or vacationing somewhere with mountains because you have Yosemite, which has mountains on it, and then you have the Jeep, which has mountains like in the window, which is like obviously supposed to be the rear view. And then something that they wanted me to point out was that peach, Momo means peach in Japanese. So I don't know if that's like someone you know, like if you know Momo, or if like I know there's Momo from Twice and there's Momo from Boku no Hero. And I'm sure many other animes. But that was just something that they kind of wanted me to point out. I know we got that reference to Japan earlier as well. So there could be a new friend that you make that's named that. I think peaches are also ripe around that time where the sticker fell, like on the outside of March, April. I think they start coming into season around that time, and summer. They're a summer spring fruit. So that could also have to do with like harvest. Like how Bekah was talking about, you might start making changes or things, and then you might start seeing the harvest start as like the fruits start to ripen is kind of what I'm hearing. So yeah, that's pretty much it that I have.
Yes. So hopefully those messages resonate for you and get you excited. Seems that you have a lot coming in, but mostly grounding, clarity, self-love, but all of this stuff to look forward to in the next like 8 months too. So that's super exciting.
Mm-hmm.
But
hopefully that gave
you, hopefully that gave you an idea and helped you kind of see what's coming in for you. If you are interested in any of the other piles, feel free to watch them. I know pile 4, there was a reference that came out in your homemade oracle card. So if you felt drawn to that pile, I would recommend watching it. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed it. Leave us a like, a comment, hit subscribe, check out all of our social medias. They're all in the description box below. You can even check out, we have a weekly playlist on Spotify. And yeah, we have a lot of stuff, but hopefully you enjoyed it, and we'll see you in our next video.
One more thing really quick. You also did get a reference to Sally because you got the character Sally, which she was on pile 3. So if you felt drawn to that one as well, check that out. Okay. Yes. Bye-bye. Happy Halloween. Bye.
If you picked pile 2, you picked the Oogie Boogie Man, and you picked Creep It Real for your pumpkin. And then the quote that you picked is, say it once, say it twice, take a chance, and roll the dice. So that is a quote from This Is Halloween from The Nightmare Before Christmas. For anyone who didn't watch the intro, this is a timeless reading. So obviously when we post this, it's Halloween, 2021, but this is a timeless reading, which means that you can watch it at any point in time and it's still relevant. And the theme of the reading is what's in the wind, or there's something in the wind, which is from Sally's song from The Nightmare Before Christmas. So we're going to see kind of some changes, maybe some blessings, some things coming in, what to expect, what's happening for you right now. What are some things that are blowing in with the wind? So we'll do that. We have tarot, we have oracle, we have the handmade oracle decks. And then we also have the Nightmare Before Christmas Wheel of the Year, and we'll do charms and stickers on the wheel. To kind of give you an idea of maybe a time frame for some of the stuff that's going on after we look at the cards. And then Laina obviously is going to do messages like normal, where, you know, if she gets stuff while we're going through that, she'll let you guys know what your guides have to say. So perfect. We will go ahead and get into it. I feel like I have to sneeze. So if you guys have allergies, make sure you're taking care of yourself. And they also say that if you sneeze a lot, that potentially, if you believe in twin flames or soulmates, that your soulmate's thinking about you. So just keep that in mind too. But also take care of yourself. If you have a cold, since it's getting cold out right now when we're filming this, make sure that you're resting and drinking tea and taking care of yourself. But we will go ahead and we'll get started with your tarot to see what things might be coming in with the wind. Yes, well, continuation, I see. Okay, so we have the Hanged Man came out. So that might be the energy that you're in right now. But I feel like that's going to be, yeah. Wow, a definite continuation of energy. We have the Hermit. So if you were drawn to pile 1, I would say this is already similar energy. But I feel like you're at a different place than pile 1 was at. So it's almost like this is the stage, since you have the Hermit coming out already. More for this pile spirit. Okay, you have the 7 of Cups. 7 of Potions. Okay. Oh, okay. You got the Lovers.
Cute.
They're just gonna make me do 6 cards for everything now. The Tower. They did this the last group. And the bottom of the deck is the 8 of Cups. That's really exciting. Okay. And I'll tell you why that's exciting. So for this group, right now, you're kind of in an energy of feeling kind of heavy, kind of stuck, feeling like you've been in this place for a while and you really kind of want some changes, which is perfect for watching this reading because you're like, please tell me what's going to change because I need it. Basically, Spirit is saying like, you've been in kind of like a shutdown period, like a resting period, and you're coming into a place of it's like a lot of big changes, but they're going to feel really subtle is kind of what I'm picking up on. You're going to have a lot of choices, and not in the sense of like, oh gosh, you have to make the right choice. It's like you're going to be having things coming in where like you're going to have an abundance of choices, but I don't feel like you're going to be flustered by them. I just think that like spirit's going to be slowly giving you choices of things and saying like, okay, which one of these do you want? Like, here's this and this and this and this. And I feel like that's going to be coming in because you're working through things. And as you do that, that's giving you more choices, more options, and more things that are coming in that are making you happy. You have the Lovers in the Tower as well, which is actually really, really exciting because the Lovers, yes, that is like the Gemini card. That's like the balancing the inner world. But the Lovers is literally also about like romantic relationships, about your soulmate, which I already mentioned your soulmate and sneezing. So that could be a pretty big message for this group. But with the Lovers, you have that coming out as a potential change, and then you have it with the Tower immediately after that, which the Tower is an unexpected twist of fate usually. Like it's usually like big unexpected changes. And then at the bottom of the deck, you have the Eight of Cups, which is walking away from things that no longer serve you. So I feel like you're walking away from a lot of patterns and a lot of things that you no longer need because you've gone through this period that you're in right now where things have felt a little stuck or a little scary. You might be going through a lot of fears where you're trying to like work through them. And I think because you're doing that and you're working through these things, like you're going to have all these options of great things that are coming in, but you don't have to pick just one. That's the other thing that I'm getting. It's like you have options, yes, but you can pick more than one option. So for instance, like you might have like a career thing coming in, a new relationship. You might have like a potential to travel. Like all of these things might be coming in at one time. And it might be a little overwhelming in the sense of like, oh, there's so many good things happening. Like I need to choose. And it's like, yes, you can choose what to focus on. But regardless, all of these things are coming in for a reason and you can have all of them. Like that's kind of like the vibe that I'm getting with that, which is very exciting. You have 4 major arcana, which means that these are very big changes and they're changes that you will see like in the 3D. And you might not see it right away and it might seem to like be slowly moving, but you'll see over time that they all add up and you'll see how big and drastic of a change this actually is or how big these changes are.
Mm-hmm. I 100% agree with that. The first message that I got for you guys was witch's brew. And so I kind of asked Spirit to explain it to me a little bit more because when I hear witch's brew, I think of like people like making themselves like a drink. Or I also think of like when I was in elementary school, there was this song that was like, I put it in my witch's brew. I got magic, alakazam, kazoo. So I was like, okay. And so when I asked them to explain it to me, they were kind of talking about they brought up specifically alchemy. So if you've been working with alchemy and like maybe you're someone who likes to make potions, you have 2 of the potions cards, which are cups, but like maybe you like to make potions, and they're saying like those have been working for you. But even for those of you that don't, I think you've been putting in a lot of alchemy in your life by like manifesting what it is that you want, and like it's gonna start to come in. And it just kind of gave me like that magician energy, and like or if you haven't yet and you're in the hangman position, they're saying now is the time while you're in there to start like whipping together your stuff that you want, but kind of creating that recipe of the life that you want. You also have raspberries. So I don't know if that's a favorite fruit or if it's going to be important somehow, some way. Just that came up. I also heard from your guides the words, honey, we have it handled, don't worry. So like it could be like maybe you have guides are calling you honey, or that's like a nickname for you. I don't know, but that's just what came through. Also heard that they wanted me to bring special attention to the 7 of Cups and the Lovers because traditionally, before it became the Lovers, that card was originally called the Choice. And because you have so many options, and I agree with Bekah that you don't have to just make one choice, but what I get is that when you make your choices of the things that you do want, what's going to happen is it's going to be with that Tower, fast changes. And it might include like leaving some things behind that you're kind of like, oh, like that's not, for some of you, you're going to be so ready to leave those things behind. You're going to be like, yes, get me out of here. Let's go. I'm ready for the new. But for some of you, I feel this because it's kind of like that Eight of Cups kind of looks a little bit like a graveyard. I do kind of feel like for some of you, there might be some of these changes that feel a little bit like a mourning and you're a little bit afraid to let them go. And they're kind of just saying that when you do, I'm getting back to that quote of like, we have it handled, don't worry. So like, for some of you, this might even be currently walking away from a partner or even just a flirtationship that you're in because like you thought this person was it and you have to decide to walk away from them. And when you do that and you go and choose yourself or a job or whatever it is, then you might actually meet the person that's meant for you. Then you might get the job that was meant for you. That's so for some of you it's that, and for some of you it's that you make these choices and then like these big changes come in. Regardless, it's all really positive, but for some of you I did pick up that like it might be a little bit tougher, and or some of you are underestimating how tough it might be to let these things go, because you might be like, hell yeah, I'm ready, I want to move forward, and then when it comes to it I sense a little bit of hesitation and fear and kind of like, ooh, I don't know, do I really want to let this go now that I'm thinking about it? It's pretty safe and cozy over here. And Spirit's like, no, come on, keep going. And that's kind of like just kind of the vibes that I'm picking up. So that's why they really want to emphasize the like, don't worry, we have it handled. So like no matter what changes you are making, they're going to be for your better interest, even if there is a little bit of sting. And I'm hearing that like, what is that like quote that's like, be like the something like the butterfly but sting like a bee. But like the way that I'm kind of hearing it is like they're saying like, even if you get that bee sting, like don't worry, because you're still going to transform into a butterfly. So like it's really backwards of that quote, but you know what I mean.
Fly like a butterfly, sting like a bee.
Yes.
Float like a fly. I don't know why I said fly.
I mean, butterflies fly, so same thing.
Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee.
Yeah. So anyway, but it's kind of the reverse of that. It's kind of like if you get the bee sting, right, and you get that like little owie, just know that like you're still going to, you know, be able to float out of there like a butterfly and change.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I'm not really sensing like a lot of like pain necessarily, as much as like it's almost like you're in an apathy right now, and like there might be some fear in there, but for the most part, like you're gonna feel really at peace once you make these changes.
Yeah, I think it might just be more like I said, like the comfort zone. Like you might be uncomfortable a little bit with some of these changes. Like, ooh, this is a little, I don't know, can I really do it? And Spirit's like, yes. And you're like, I don't know about that. And they're like, yes, go.
Yeah, basically. I don't know about that. Do it anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Which we talk about do it scared sometimes, but
yeah, do it scared. Just do it scared. F the rules.
Yes. Okay, let me shuffle out some oracle cards. So we have a couple rounds of oracles. So the first ones that I have are like my nature Halloween oracles, and then we'll do like the more deep astrology and moon ones. Your first one is Bay Leaves Abundance. Oh, and I didn't tell you that I'm shuffling all of these live. I should tell you that. So we don't have any of these picked out already. We're shuffling all of the cards. That way we can get confirmation right alongside with you. Oh, yes. Okay. Patchouli, which is purpose. And then I just want to show this one since it almost flew out. Nutmeg, which is luck.
Cute.
But I'm not going to keep it since it didn't fly out. Okay. Let's see what animals you get. Which patchouli is one of my favorite scents. Patchouli essential oils or incense might be really good for you. You have moth, which is caution, pretty close to a butterfly.
Throw caution to the wind is what I heard. You might be too cautious, and that's why they're saying you need to throw caution to the wind. And also for some of you with the bay leaves, it's urgency. They're saying that like for those of you that do spell work, bay leaves they say are really, I don't personally, but I never say never, but I don't personally right now, and they are great for abundance from what I've heard. So if that's something you're looking to manifest, I think they're telling you that working with bay leaves would be really good for you.
I agree with that as well. Bay leaves are great for protection. So if you are feeling stressed at all, and that is something that you work with, you can put them in your food. A lot of people will like burn bay leaves like they would like sage. You got, again, bay leaves. Number 22, wisdom. This is Leo energy.
Also, newt is making me think of Harry Potter, the Tales of the Magical Beasts, I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So for some of you, like if you like that movie or it's something important, you know, like you've always wanted to watch it, it might be a thing to watch it.
Mm-hmm. You have grounding, which is Virgo energy. Number 5, the potato. And then we'll do one more, not that many more. Nope. Your guides would give you this entire deck if they could, but I'm not allowing that. Okay, stop it. Have a chat with your guides. Just one. Now they're mad at me.
They said cut the deck and take the middle.
Okay. Okay. Regeneration, number 17 is Aries energy, and it's Tarragon. And then at the bottom of the deck, before I split it in half, was protection, which is also Aries energy, the onion, number 9.
No.
Just so that you know. So protection is something for this group that's coming up, definitely. So if you feel like you want to, I would say like cleansing your energy, using black crystals. If you do spell work, you can use bay leaves. We personally don't. But if you'd like to, that's always an option for you as well. But yes, basically protection is really important for you. Make sure you're cutting cords, asking for help when you need help, and detaching yourself from situations that are not healthy for you. Abundance is coming. Yes, you may be a little bit overly cautious, but I think you're also very urgent to get to this next place, and spirit's kind of saying like things are moving the way that they're supposed to. You know, like there's no reason to be overly cautious, but also don't rush the process either.
Mm-hmm.
You're coming into a place of understanding your purpose. So this has patchouli, which patchouli is a very good grounding energy, and you have the grounding card as well. That's something that's really going to help you with choices and with maybe those more uncomfortable feelings, like allowing yourself to be in a grounded state by either like meditating or burning some patchouli essential oil or incense, you know, or those bay leaves. Anything that you can do that's like earth related can be very, very grounding for you. Because you're going through a phase where like you're regenerating. So you're like regrowing yourself into something new. Like it's kind of like you have cut out all of the stuff that you don't need, and now you're starting to grow again. And that might not take the time that you want it to take, and you might not grow in a way that you thought you would, or that like, you know, maybe you're not growing at the speed or the rate that you thought you wanted to. But the thing is that you're growing on your own terms and at your own time. And you don't sit there and yell at like a plant to grow faster. Like if you do, you might need to go to anger management. Like, but
grow faster.
Right. But you don't sit there and yell at plants to grow faster. So why would you do that to yourself? Like there is this sense of like, you almost have this urgency of like, oh, I just want to get to the next step, which it is very irritating when you're in that hanged man energy and you really just want to get out of it and get to the next step. But spirit wants you to know that like this time is to allow you to tap into your wisdom and to your purpose, and to really like ground into those energies so that you feel solid in them, so that when you're making these choices and these changes, things aren't as scary or as uncomfortable or as stressful, because you know what you want and what you need. And regardless of the choice, you know you're making the right one.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So the first thing that I heard for you guys, which was shortly after Bekah showed that onion card, was ogres have layers, onions have layers. I don't know, maybe. And then I started hearing a bunch of other Shrek quotes, and maybe you really like Shrek, or like it's something that makes you laugh, and like, you know, your guides are saying like just to kind of lighten up your energy, maybe turning on Shrek, you know, would make you feel good and funny. Like I know that like Shrek 2 is iconic, like better than Shrek 1. Come for me in the comments if you disagree. But the other thing that your guides are really, really highlighting for me is, I know this is a Nightmare for a Christmas reading. This anime also came up in the last group a little bit, but it's coming up very strongly in this group. But it's Boku no Hero, or My Hero Academia. And basically in that anime, in season 2, there are 2 main characters who like they're fighting because it's like the sports festival at school. So it's like it's fine. They're not like actually like fighting like they're, you know, practicing in a sense. And there's this character whose name is Todoroki, and he's really afraid to use half of his powers because he doesn't want to be like his father. And for some reason that's really coming in for you guys, and I think that's something that you've been like and this, so for me this is masculine energy, maybe being afraid of your own masculine energy, and thinking that like, because like I know for Bekah's case, right, like the masculine energy in her household was her mother and the feminine energy in her household was her father. And so that can be for you too. So like, you know, if you're like, oh, I don't have problems with my dad, but I have issues with my mom, then like understand it could be like that, right? So take the energy as it resonates. But what I'm getting mostly is that I remember that Deku told Todoroki, it's not his power, meaning his dad's, it's yours. And that really snapped like Todoroki out of like, well, not like fully, because it still took more time, but in that moment, like of, oh, like this is actually mine, and like I'm not the past, or I'm not like what went on before in my life. I'm not my parents, I'm not this, and like that's coming through really strong. And so I think that could be some of the stuff that like maybe we're talking about. Like maybe some of you are in a family business and you don't want to leave it, you know, like it's comfortable for you because like you get a steady paycheck or whatever, but you really always wanted to be like, you know, a massage therapist, and like you have the classes that you could take, but like you're afraid to go take them because that would, you know, mean like betraying your family, or just, you know, this is a random story, apply it how it fits. But for something, like there is something about this group that like when I see that caution, there's a fear of something that's kind of keeping you like in place. And I think you're working through that right now, and that's why you're regenerating. And so I think that you can probably find the scene on YouTube, if I'm being honest, if you don't want to watch the whole anime. And there is a dub, so if you're like, oh, I don't like you know, to read things with subtitles, which is fine, that's fair, do you can find the dub as well. I think that scene is really important for you and might be kind of like eye-opening to show you that like either it comes from like you don't have to repeat the past of your like parents and your ancestors, or it comes from some type of mistake or something that happened. But basically like you had that 8 of cups of like leaving things behind, and you have this regeneration. So there's something I think that you're realizing is like different about you than kind of what you thought. And I think that's also why they want you to ground and like go into your own inner wisdom so that you can kind of see and figure that out for yourself. And I'm sorry that was a really long message, but it was screaming at me to be said, so I needed to say it.
Yeah. Another thing, you also have a lot about like taking chances and like making choices and rolling the dice. So I wanted to point that out because you did pick the pile that says take a chance and roll the dice, and you've gotten a lot about like taking the chance and making the decision and jumping in regardless of the fear, but also like having those choices to do so.
Yes. Also, Take a Chance on Me by ABBA is now coming through. Honey, can't you see Take a chance on me.
Okay.
Okay. Sorry, really quick while Bekah's shuffling. For some of you, there might be someone who comes into your life relationship-wise, and your parents' relationship might have failed. And that's what they're connecting the it's not your power, it's not his power, it's yours. So for you, it might be in the sense of like, put that into it's not like their relationship, it's yours, meaning that like if your parents' relationship failed, or you've seen relationships fail all around you, for those of you that are stepping into a new relationship or new relationship territory, be bold to make the first move. You have to realize that you're kind of worth taking that like chance on, and that it doesn't mean that your relationship is going to end up like theirs. Holy Aries energy.
Yes, cardinal moon, new moon in Aries. Aries I am in fire element. So if you are an Aries, hello, this is definitely a good confirmation for you. Otherwise, if you have Aries in your big three, or maybe an Aries Venus, that could be coming through for you as well. But let me shuffle out the rest of your cards. But yes, basically you're being encouraged to take that move even though it's scary, and to make that choice and to take that chance, whatever that is, whether that be in a relationship, whether that be, you know, taking the chance on yourself. That was way too many. Or, you know, on a job, on moving, on doing anything. Like they're saying, like, you have their support, and it's time for you to be bold and to take action and to leap into that Aries energy. Yeah, you have number 13, which is will. This is 37 and 13, by the way. Aries 13 is an Aries number, just in case anybody wanted to know. And it reduces to 4, which is about foundation and stability and celebration. So just thought I'd point that out. Yeah, you have protection, number 24. So no matter what you do, like, you are protected. Like this choice, these choices, or these things that are coming in, these decisions, like they are protected things for you, and you don't have to fear about making the wrong one, because no matter what, like, you're being guided to make the decision. Oh my gosh. Number 13 again, liberation, free yourself.
I was gonna say the number 7 was important, and so if that comes up, and I think in it before you had a card with 17 on it, and then you have 37, and so I don't know, that number seems important for some reason.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. And then last but not least, number 8, which is eunoia, which is everything in perfect balance. Yeah. So very strong Mars energy. So I would look and see where your Mars placement is, number 1. Second of all, I would look to see if you have any placements in Aries, because those placements could be very important to tell you what's coming in. Aries season is late March, early April. Well, most of April. So just know that that time frame could be important for you. That's pretty much time frame wise, like, all I'm seeing right now. But you have the cardinal signs. It's all about like that fiery, like passionate energy. So no matter what, the choice that's right for you is the one that makes you feel passionate, makes you feel alive, makes you feel happy. And it's okay to take a chance on that, and to know that like spirit is supporting you every step of the way. So no matter what you do, as long as you're following your heart and doing the thing that makes you happy and feel good, like whatever that choice or that chance is, it's protected and cared for, and you're making the right decision for yourself. And that's really what they want you to focus on. Don't focus on like, what's the right decision for my, you know, like my parents or like society. What do they want me to do? Like, it's not about that. It's about what feels right for you, and about chasing those things and being a trailblazer. Like that's kind of the, like, this is something new for either you because your family has never broken from this before, or it's something new altogether that like you know, people haven't ever done, or it's not something that's common or heard of. Whatever your choices are, like you're supposed to blaze that trail and to be one of the first to blaze it. So just keep that in mind.
Agreed. Also, life paths that are coming in. I should have said it earlier because I did get life path 7 and life path 8, but I didn't. And then also they're emphasizing life path 5. I don't know why life paths are coming in so strong today. They just are. But so if those are for you, that could just be an extra confirmation that you need. Those could also be months if you want to take them as months instead of life paths. So that would be July, August, and May.
Yes. So let's get a character to see whose energy you can embody or what energy is like you. Yep. Okay. All right. Let's see what you got. You got 0, which is the dog from the movie. You have friendly, sweet, loyal, leadership, Cancer energy.
Hey.
Friends, family, money, love, and new pet are the things that are potentially coming in.
Ooh.
And then we'll do 2 of these, which are channeled messages and quotes from Nightmare Before Christmas. Okay, 1. I made it so that none of the groups got the same ones. So if you wanted to see what they were, you'll just have to watch the other files. Oh, okay. All right. So you got, just because I cannot see it doesn't mean I can't believe it, which is the next pile actually. So if you're interested, check it out. Blue, 50, anatomy, snow globes, magnifying glass, winter, sunshine, forest, fireplace, stripes, crosswalk, winter bear by V of BTS, and ancestry, which again, like this could be breaking away from like old ancestral patterns too. And then the other one you got is for it is plain as anyone can see, we're simply meant to be, which is Jack and Sally. It's stars, moon, astrology, glitter, graveyard, yellow, surprise, November, tattoos, holding hands, Pluto, 0. There you go. Sweaters and coffee. So those are the channeled messages. So you might find something in there. Those also gave you time frames as well, and potentially like signs and symbols to look out for. So hopefully that gave you a little more info.
A lot of you are definitely, because I mean, like we got some of this in pile 1 too, but in this one, because you had the lovers and like the 7 of cups and all these things, and we've had so much that I was talking about with, and I even got that message about like relationships, and then you had love and ancestry. I think a lot of you are clearing like either past life karma or generational karma to do with relationships. And that's kind of starting that like new cycle, because when I think of Aries, I think of the beginning, right? And so that's kind of like what I'm thinking too, is like you're starting at the beginning with a new love cycle for yourself.
Yes, I definitely agree with that. Oh, exciting. My favorite part. Okay. So this is going to give us some time frames. We're going to start with just a few little charms. Okay. I was going to do it. There we go. Okay. Fine. You got the letter. What?
November's highlighted again. Sorry, yes. I'm excited.
You got the letter N. So that could be an initial, it could be a name, it could be a place. New is what's coming up for me. So again, that new cycle.
I heard Nate.
Nate.
Oh, you had Newt too. So maybe that's also what they meant. Sorry, I got distracted.
Yes. So we'll start here. Actually, you know what? We'll start with November, since this is here when we're filming this. So this is a little seahorse, which is about like fertility. It could also be again about that masculine energy that was mentioned earlier, and like merging that with the feminine energy, because that's a very seahorse type of thing. This could be a symbol that you start seeing a lot, but in November you might be finding that you're balancing that energy, and like fertility doesn't necessarily mean babies, but maybe for some of you like that's a sign or confirmation. But fertility can also mean like creative projects coming too. So it could be that you are having a lot of new ideas, a lot of new things. And some of those may feel unconventional, but spirit wants you to trust yourself and to go with the ones that feel good and make you feel passionate, even if they're a little bit out there, you don't understand them. February and March, you have a few here. You have one that says light the way, and the numbers on it are 634. And you have just one life, which is 247. And then you also have the little letter that says I love you on it. It's a little postcard.
Oh.
So you might have some romance coming in this time frame, as well as like you have the light the way and just one life. So for me, this is kind of like maybe a choice will come to head in these 2 months around that time, and like you'll have to do that trailblazing at that time. So this might be a good time frame for you to watch out for. And then in September and August, you have a little fairy, which for me is just about magic. So there might be something magical happening between September and August and September. So just, you know, these could be some time frames for you, but just remember that like there is stuff coming in and you are going to be blazing a new trail for yourself, whether, you know, whatever choices you make, they're going to be the right ones for you. So just keep that in mind.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I'm going to do your stickers. Now, last time they kind of all came out around the bottom, but I'm hoping that they'll switch it up a little bit. Okay. And I'm trying not to get like too high up because one, I don't want to like knock the camera, but two, like I'm also a little bit afraid of my candle over there. It's huge and I don't want like to burn any of my stickers because I have an attachment to my stickers. Okay. Let's see if there's okay.
I heard Switch It Up by JB playing in my head. So for some of you, that could be a good song to listen to or a confirmation.
Okay. That was more than I thought was going to come out. Okay. Not as many as group one, though. Group one really liked the stickers. Interesting. Okay. So we're going to start here because this came out over October and we're done with October by the time we post this. So, okay. We're going to start over here. So in December, they have a little cassette tape, which could be like music. It could be art. Like I said, you had that fertility. So this might be like a creative project or something that you're working on, or it could be that some music inspires you that's coming out. There are a lot of artists coming out with music in November, and there are a lot of concerts going on November and December. So that might be important for you. Maybe you'll meet somebody at a concert, or maybe that's a decision that you're trying to make. Like, oh, should I go or not? Like it's far away. I'll have to get a ticket and get a plane ticket, maybe stay there. And I think Spirit's telling you, like, if that's the case, like, if it's something that's going to make you happy and you can afford it, do it. Like, that's kind of the vibe that I'm getting. Of course, be safe, but, you know. January, February, you have the little fish with the shark fin. Again, this is kind of like that bravery vibe. Like, that vibe of, like, putting on your fin, being like, I'm going to do it anyway. Like, it's kind of like that trailblazing, like, tough, like, strength vibe. So again, like January, February, March, like there might be something where you're blazing a trail that's never been blazed before.
Shark bait. Ooh ha ha.
Yes. So this March, April, May, this has summer, sunshine, and happy times, like all the way across it. So it could be that like maybe you're going somewhere warm, or like like somewhere where the weather is very sunny and like summery. Or you're like coming into this, like maybe you're working on a project that's going to be released in the summer. So this trailblazing thing might be something where you're working on it up until summer starts so that you can release it, or whatever may happen. That could be a creative project. It could be that you're like someone who has your own business and you're working on a new line of products or something. Like that could be that. Or you could be studying during that time, or like building something up during that time. You also got, speaking of own business, you got this little like lunch restaurant store situation. The cool thing about this, cafe, thank you. I don't know if you can tell, but this is like a little tree and it has little ornaments on it. So that could be a sign that maybe like those things that happened like back here, like are coming to fruition, like in this March, April period, which we did see that with your charms as well. But this is like a little cafe, which for me talks about like abundance and like eating well. And again, like if you do own your own business or you are thinking of starting a cafe, like that could be a confirmation for you. And then everything else kind of happens in August, September, October. So starting out in August, you have a couple of cute things. This is kind of both, but you have Yes, You Can in August. And you also have this cute little like girl, like all in love with this boy. So there might be a relationship coming in, but again, like there might be something that you have to do where you have to be brave about it, whether that be like making the first move, like that one card that came out, like be bold and make the first move. Or it could just be that you take a leap and you end up meeting somebody because of it, like unintentionally. You also have good vibes. So again, like very good, like upbeat, positive vibes for August, September. And then you have the Scorpio in September, October. So it's a little bit early. But that could just mean that like you're meeting a Scorpio, or maybe you have Scorpio in your chart and you're going to be using it at that time. It may be that you're going through like a transformational time at that point, because the other thing that popped out in October, September, October is trying your best is all that matters. The rest will fall into place.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be that during that time you're going through like a transition and like you're just being asked to kind of go with the flow. So I feel like there's a lot of really good energy and a lot of like working on things and moving forward and like being your own bold, beautiful self. Like that's kind of what I'm feeling.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Yes. So hopefully those messages resonated for you and you got lots of good information. Let us know what you thought. Leave us a like, a comment, hit subscribe. If you want to check out one of the other piles, feel free to do so. You had some references to the other piles in here. So if you are interested, and I think pile 3 came out and pile 1 did too.
Mm-hmm.
So you can check those out, see what you thought about those and let us know. But that's what we had for you. You can check us out on social media. We have all of that linked below in the description box, as well as like our normal weekly YouTube or not our YouTube playlist, our normal weekly Spotify playlist. And you know, any other links that you may need to either book a reading or do whatever you want. Those are all linked below as well. So hopefully we will see you in our next video.
Mm-hmm. Bye-bye. Happy Halloween.
Bye. If you picked pile 3, then you picked Sally here. She's mending herself. And then you got Trick or Treat Yourself for your sticker and your little pumpkin charm. And then for your quote from the movie, you got Just Because I Cannot See It Doesn't Mean I Can't Believe It, which is one of my favorite quotes from the movie. Just an FYI. So this reading, the subject is There's Something in the Wind. I sense there's something in the wind, which is from Sally's song. So basically what changes are coming, what can you expect to happen, maybe some blessings that are coming in potentially, just kind of like what to expect from your guides, or maybe some advice that they have for things that are happening. We have tarot, we have oracle, we actually have homemade oracles as well. And then we have, this is the Nightmare Before Christmas wheel. And this can give us an idea. We're going to use charms and stickers to see kind of what to expect, or maybe some time frames if they can tell us what time frames to look out for any changes or anything. But yeah, basically Laina's going to do some channel messages as we go through as well, like usual. So we will go ahead and get started with your tarot cards to see what changes or what's coming with the winds of change. Also, I'm doing live shuffling for all of our cards, which we've been doing lately. Okay, so you have the devil, you have Oogie Boogie, and then the moon flew out with that. There's 2. Let's see what else. Already we have 2 major arcana. So a lot of people are going through major changes. Pile 1 and 2 both had a lot of major arcana in theirs too. Okay. Oh my gosh. You have the High Priestess and the Wheel of Fortune. Oh, there's one hiding. And then you have the King of Wands, the King of Candles. And then at the bottom of the deck is the Four of Swords. I know that's a card that I don't like. So, I mean, I do like it, but I also don't at the same time. And I'll tell you why. But can I just say you have 4 major arcana and then a king in your tarot. So big changes. But basically what I'm getting from this is like with the devil energy. So first of all, Capricorn, Cancer / Pisces, depending on if you're looking at astrology or tarot. The high priestess is Libra, Virgo.
The high priestess is Virgo, I believe.
Virgo. And then the wheel of fortune is
all the fixed signs.
All the fixed signs, yes. So basically, and then you have fire signs. So you have a lot, but basically what I'm getting from this is like you already know all of the changes that are coming. And things are moving the way that they're supposed to. And you know, you might have some doubts right now, like you might be going through like a hard time because you're in a rest period. So the reason that you're resting is because all of this is happening and it's happening very, very fast. And you know in your heart and your soul that these changes are happening, but it's almost like you have these thoughts that come in that are like doubts or fears, and those really kind of mess with your head. But Spirit's kind of asking you to tap into this inner knowing and to tap into your intuition. So doing things like meditation and grounding are really, really important for you right now. Not only that, but doing anything that helps you be more spiritual or closer to your guides and ancestors and spirit in general is going to be really helpful. Another thing is creativity. Creativity is a huge deal for this group. So make sure that you're using your energy in ways that are expressive. So some of you might have a fire sign as an ascendant or as a sun. If that's the case, you can use that fiery energy, that passion or that drive or whatever that creative talent spark is. And you can use that in a way to help you ground and to get your emotions out. Especially if you tend to keep them kind of hidden or locked inside. It's about accessing them and allowing them to come to the surface so that you can acknowledge that they're in there and that they're fears. And so that you can weigh these out and say, okay, I know how I feel about this. So why is this coming up? And then you can move forward and let that go. And that's just going to help the wheel turn even faster. So right now, even though you are in a rest, quote unquote, a rest period, like you are actually working through a lot of stuff. So it's not like you're just like sitting there, like doing nothing. Like you're moving forward. And it's about allowing yourself to feel the things you need to feel, express things in a way that you need to, and find comfort in things that make you happy. Like do things that actually make your soul feel rested, not just like your physical body, like your soul, your emotions, your mind. Like take a mental vacation is kind of the vibe. Like do things that make your brain feel like it's on a vacation, on a break. Like allow it to disconnect itself from fear and from worry and from anxiety, and do things that help you get out of that mindset, because I feel like that's the only thing that is really coming up that's a problem. And it's not even really a problem, because regardless of if you have these fears or anxieties, like things are moving no matter what. So it's just a matter of allowing things to go with the flow instead of trying to fight them, or instead of trying to pretend like they're not there, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that wholeheartedly. Sorry, I'm writing down some. You guys had a lot of channel messages come through like really fast. I don't know why, but every pile has had an anime of some kind come through. Yours was Haikyuu, which is a sports anime. I like this anime quite a lot. I think it can be really inspirational, and now that like we have the cards, actually I think this anime makes a lot of sense for this group, because in this anime this is about like this team, Karasuno is the name of the team, and they are basically the underdogs of the volleyball like league, which this group gives me big underdog pile. And then they kind of get everything together and they like start to rank up and actually become a team that's, you know, really good, and they put in a lot of effort. And I feel like that's you guys. Like, you guys have put in a lot of work and a lot of effort and a lot of love into whatever it is you're doing, and you've worked, and like there's literal like BST by BTS, blood, sweat, and tears. But like, that actually is you guys. Like, you guys really have like put everything into this, into like what it is that you're working for. Like, there's a song called, I think it's by the Reliant K, and I think it's called Give It All, but it's like and it's talking about like give until there's nothing left. And I think that's kind of, like I said, where you guys are. Like, you guys really like put your all into everything, and you charge forward with just like, and that's very much that anime. Like, I'm not super big into sports animes. I think Haikyuu might be the only one I've actually watched. But this one, for me, I stuck with this show because I fell in love with the characters and the way that they refuse to give up on their dreams. And so I think for some of you, this could be like a comfort anime. It could be something that if you do like anime, you might want to check out, and it might be really inspiring for you just to kind of see how they never give up on their dreams. And then I also got Sailor Mercury and Sailor Mars. So that makes sense to me because we had Virgo come out, and then like the King of Wands. So like, you know, that's kind of like, I think, your guys' energy. And then we also had, I also had Ready to Love by 17 that came out for you guys. The number's 9742. Just Can't Wait to Be King, which is hilarious because as I was writing that down was when Beky drew the King of Wands. So I LOL'd to myself. And then they also gave me that message, you are resting now to take off later, so trust. Firework by Katy Perry, so lots of songs. I saw a paint set, and so I was hearing like paint more, or like, so kind of like what Bekah was talking about, using that creativity more. That way, like, it's you know, being used and emphasized, and like you can get some of this energy out. And for some of you that are clearing things out, it might help you with like, you know, getting things seen and heard, because maybe you're not the best with words, but you're really good at like your sentiment will come through in the art that you create. I also saw red flannel, and then I got the scent of pine and chestnuts, so that of course makes me think of like December, so that could be an important time of year, excuse me, for you. And then last I got the song Put Your Records On by Corinne Bailey Rae. It's a very like fun-loving, free-flowing kind of carefree song, so maybe give that a listen to. And I'm sorry, I keep burping, so I guess I'm giving correct information because they say that's what happens. So anyway, that's what I have so far for you guys.
Yes. Also, that song is called Give Until There's Nothing Left by Reliant K.
Yes.
One of my favorite bands from a long time ago. There's also a song by them called I Celebrate the Day that popped into my head, and that's actually a Christmas song by Reliant K. Another thing that they were pointing out while Laina was talking is that the devil is definitely the shadow card of the High Priestess. I don't know if you can see that, but if you look, they are doing like the exact same like pose. And so I feel like that's just a sign of like, you know, you already know the answer, and like these are just shadows that are coming up to be acknowledged, and they're a part of you. And like, yes, you're going to release some fears and stuff, but like your shadow's never going to be like gone, if that makes sense. So just keep in mind that like these things, like you should treat them with like nurturing and care, and not with like disdain, if that makes sense.
Yes. And I'm hearing sorry Shadow by BTS, and specifically that line that Yoongi says that is about like gosh, let me look it up really quick, sorry. I'm
just gonna shuffle while you do that.
Yes.
We're gonna get oracles. Nope, that's too many.
He talks about, well, he actually talks about wanting to be the king, which is hilarious with I Just Can't Wait to Be King.
Want to be a rap star. Want to be rich.
I want to be a top. I want to be king. Where is it? Yeah, he talks about we are one body. Sometimes we will clash. You can never break me off. This you must know. And it says you'll be at ease if you admit it. To succeed or fail, whichever way you flow, you can't escape wherever you go. So basically, it's that like you have to acknowledge these shadows because they are a part of you. And I think that that is kind of something you're doing now. And just knowing that like you'll be more at ease the more that you admit that you have these shadows and that you have these fears and that you have these doubts, because then you're embracing them and you're saying like, yes, sorry, too many messages at one time, but you're saying, yes, even though I have these fears, it doesn't mean that I'm like, it doesn't mean that like I'm off path or that I'm broken or that I'm not like progressing the way that I should or like any of that stuff. I'm kind of hearing that quote that's like, courage is not the absence of fear. It is doing things despite your fear. And so I think that is very much like a message that you guys need to hear. Just because you are afraid doesn't mean that you are failing.
All right, I'm just getting the last couple cards here.
Mm-hmm. Oh, hedgehoggies, those are so cute.
Mm-hmm. I never use these animal cards because they're very like, the deck itself is very like Halloween-y. So like I don't use them very often, even though like, yes, my aesthetic is a little more dark, but like I don't use these a lot in readings. Let's see if they will, otherwise I'll have to, yep, okay. Oh, that's really soft. Okay, and then one more, please.
So already Scorpio and Gemini energy with those two cards.
Oh, perfect. Okay. Bottom of the deck, just so that you could see it, is trust.
Huh.
Okay, I'm going to hold these up because I find that that's very important. So, first one that you got is garlic, which is repel. And then you also got chamomile, which is relax. Chamomile tea is especially important for this group. Drinking tea and water, you should do that. You have hedgehog, which is disguise. And then you have hare, which is transformation. And then for your for the green witch oracles, you have number 42, which is Scorpio energy, refinement. The flower is the dahlia. You have number 15, which is happiness, marjoram. And this is Gemini energy. My bad. I don't know why I went for Pisces.
Well, for some of you, maybe Pisces is important. Well, Pisces on
oh,
the next
Pisces
one.
is right there. Okay. I was like, am I losing it? Okay, number 43, tranquility, which is violet, and this is Pisces energy. Yeah, purple and pink might be important for some reason.
Purple in my head.
Yeah, go listen to Loop by I.M. But yes, purple and pink could be important for you. Flowers could be important because this deck actually has a lot of fruits and vegetables in it. So it's interesting that you got all three of your cards are flowers. Okay, anyways, so let's just get into this. Basically, what I'm seeing is that you need to relax more. Like that's like the first thing they want you to know. Like they want you to feel tranquil and relaxed. And so they want you to acknowledge any feelings that come up that make you not feel that way, if that makes sense. Like they want you to know that you're going to have feelings that come up that make you want to like repel or like push them away or like, push them down so that you can be like, oh no, but I'm okay. Like everything's all right. Like they want you to talk about them and they want you to acknowledge them because the only way that you're going to get through them is by acknowledging them so that they can heal. Because if you have these things that come up and you're like repelling against them, like they're going to just get stronger and they're going to keep getting pulled up because the point is that they're ready to be let go of. And like, even though you may not feel like you're ready to let go of them, they wouldn't come up if they weren't ready to go. You know what I mean? So I don't know why I keep asking that. That's like something I don't normally do, but for some reason I keep asking it if you like understand or if you know what I mean. So that might be something that your guides are asking. is if you understand them. But anyways, you also have a lot about relaxing and about tranquility, about happiness. And I think right now, like you've been going through a major transformation for a while. And I think spirit wants you to look back at that and to take it all in. And to, if you need to, you can find someone that can help you see the bigger picture and see all of the changes that you've made. And not from like a place of like needing it to be selfish, just more from a place of needing to have that acknowledgement for yourself. Because I know for me, at least, like I tend to be very focused on the details. So I don't see the bigger picture sometimes, whereas like Laina sees the bigger picture a lot of the time. So it's like sometimes you need to ask that person for help, and like that's okay if you need to ask them for help. If you need to go to somebody and be like, I'm having a really hard time like recognizing my accomplishments or like seeing what is good about like the things that I've gone through, that's okay. And you can go through that and review that with them. And of course, obviously do that with somebody that you trust. Like don't just ask someone random to help you with that, because they probably won't be able to tell you. But someone that you're close to, you can say like, I need help recognizing what's changed for me and what I've been going through, and I can't see it myself, so I need your support. Like it's okay to ask for help and support. That's something that I feel like your guides really want you to know, is that you have support all around you at all times, and it's okay to ask for help. Not only that, but relax. Like not just relax in the sense of I'm going to take a nap or I'm going to take a bath. Like yes, do those things, but they want you to mentally relax, which I think I've already said that in this group. Like take a mental vacation, take a vacation from your stress and your fears, however you can. That doesn't mean, like I said, that doesn't mean push them down. It just means to do things that help you feel not distracted necessarily, but that help you feel like you can breathe for a little while. Because when you're constantly sitting in this transformation energy, it can get really heavy and hard to deal with. So that's like a big message for you, is to allow yourself to relax and focus on things that make you happy. And when those things come up, don't push them away or try to like play them off as something else. When they come up, just use those to, you know, acknowledge them and let them be there and say, I see you, I understand that you're here, you know, and I can sit with myself until I figure that out. Or somebody else, you know, you may have somebody that you can lean on for help that can sit with you.
Yes, I agree with that 100%. Song that came in for you guys was Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen. So that might be an important song for you guys. Otherwise, like message wise, I agree 100% with these. And I think that right now, it's almost kind of like how I was talking about. You might need to watch things that are inspiring and really resonate with you. So of course, like if that's, you know, like for us, I know that we tend to watch K-dramas because she and I both find them very healing. I do like anime. I'm really picky about my anime, but I do like it. I know that Bekah finds music to be really healing. I mean, I do too, but I know that like more so like she'll put on a playlist specifically to help like with her healing and to have like spirit send her messages that way. I like to, you know, also like, and I know we both like to watch funny YouTube videos. We watch tons of funny K-pop videos or variety shows. And of course, like I said, this can be anything for you. You might like to watch old Disney classics. Lion King would be one I would recommend since that came through for you guys. You know, just doing things, because sometimes something that my therapist always tells me is like, yes, you can't avoid your emotions and your shadows, right? You have to face them, but you don't need to do it all the time. And I think that's something that people forget, especially when you're in the spiritual community. You constantly think that you have to be facing your shadows 24/7 all the time. That's also toxic and exhausting. It's like a form of toxic healing, like where you feel like there's something wrong with you and that you can never just sit and chill. And there isn't anything wrong. Like, you know what I mean? You're not broken. Like everybody has shadows. So you're allowed to, you know, be like, oh, you know what? It's been really rough today. And I just I need to laugh. Like, I need to put on something that makes me laugh. Laughter is healing. Like, you wouldn't believe like how much healing can be found in laughter and in joy, or, you know, there is, you know, you have that happiness card. And so I think spirit wants you to pull yourself out of like feeling like you have to sit alone in the dark by yourself, you know, writing sad poetry. Like, that's just kind of what I see you guys doing. Like, and there's nothing wrong with, you know, writing poetry to like get things out, but basically when I see you guys writing sad poetry, I see you very much like thinking, and you're not feeling, you're processing and analyzing your emotions. Like, that's kind of how I see it. And they're saying like, no, we want you to get out of that. And sometimes getting out of that means getting into peace, because when you're into peace, then you can see things a lot more clearly, and they might like, you know, level out, and it might be like, okay, now I see like why this is coming up, or why I'm upset, or like, you know, so on and so forth. Whereas like when you're in the thick of the emotions, you can't like, or not, when you're in the thick of your mind, right, and you're avoiding the emotions, or sometimes when you are in the thick of your emotions, there's no clarity to be found. And it's kind of like you have to, like Bekah was talking about, you might be people that see things like really like in the details and really right in front of you. And so you do have to kind of find that way to like pull back a little bit. And that could be, like I said, because the repel and relax is what's making me talk about all of this, is that like there's so much thinking, and they're saying that like you need to kind of like repel the, again, I don't mean repel as in avoid, but repel as in shift. Right? My therapist talks to me about how someone who has like excuse me, for example, I'm burping again, so right information. A lot of anxiety for me. I have a lot of anxiety is what I mean, and intrusive thoughts. So with her, I came up with a very like loose schedule, right? Nothing major. For some of you, if you're someone who likes to have things down to a T, that's great. Go for it. I know for Bekah and I, like, we like a very loose schedule, but nothing like set in stone. And hers is definitely more loose than mine. But for me, the reason that I have one is that like a little routine is because when you're in the thick of anxiety or in the thick of healing, it can help you pull away from the anxiety. So like, for example, in my own day, right, I know that like I get up, and then the first thing that I do is I try and I get like my chores out of the way so that I don't have to worry about anything else. Then like I get food, then I take a shower, like then I try and come and do some work. And this way, like if somewhere in there is some type of like stress or meltdown, or I'm overthinking, the reason that this is so that you have that thing that, you know, like, oh yeah, I was supposed to do the laundry. And then you go and you start doing the laundry. What ends up usually happening is that your brain lets go of that thing that you were thinking about. And that can also happen with meditation. So like if you're really not one for a routine, you can try and stop and like meditate for 5 minutes to kind of let the thoughts flow by. But that's kind of what they're talking to me about. So for some of you, that could be, again, like I said, that show. Like maybe the laundry doesn't distract you enough, and you're like, you know what? I'm going to turn on that show I really like, and I'm just going to let myself get lost in it. Maybe make some popcorn. Like that's really what they're emphasizing here, because you're in a little bit of like that standstill right now, and things are coming and they are moving, but they're not going to fully shift like while it's okay. So I'm not saying this in the way that like you're stalling it, so please don't misunderstand that. You're not stalling it at all. But what I'm saying is like they're going to take the time they take, so why make yourself suffer, basically? Kind of just relax and enjoy. Know that they are going to change, because you know that deep down. And instead of agonizing on yourself and being like, oh, why won't things change? Why won't things change? Am I doing something wrong? Like, is it really not coming? Did I just fool myself this whole time? Instead of, like I said, torturing yourself, their spirit saying, let's not do that. You know, let's be kind to ourselves, and let's actually just relax, because this thing is coming at the perfect time, at the perfect place, at the perfect moment, at the perfect hour, down to the perfect minute and the perfect second for you. And it will not get here any sooner nor any later. So it's kind of like, you know, they're saying, let's make our time while we wait peaceful and happy and enjoyable, instead of making it harder on ourselves.
Yes, I definitely agree. One thing with this group is calm down with your analyzing of what you're saying and thinking all the time. Because definitely when I was talking, there was a lot of emphasis on the exact words and phrases that I was saying, which was kind of stressing me out a little. So try not to be so like self-critical or analytical of like the things that you're like, I don't know, like, yes, you want to be careful not to like, obviously you want to look inside and make sure you're talking nicely to yourself, but don't be so critical that you're like stifling things either.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing, this this candle was making this really obnoxious noise, so you might be a little more sensitive to noises. Maybe that's something that's developing for you, is like your clairaudience might be getting a little more intense, which just means that, you know, take some time to be in like silence or in like a location that's not super loud when that's going on. If you're feeling sensitive, or if you're feeling really like things just seem louder, like they seem, I want to say like you just seem sensitive to the noises and sounds around you, or like you get irritated really easily by that, like spend some time decompressing or like depriving yourself of being around loud noises or lots of things going on, so that you can kind of breathe through that. You have grand trine, which is blessings.
Yes, get those blessings.
Funny to me now that I mentioned that the candle's not making that noise anymore. Oh, there it went. I was like, Okay. And then Cancer, I feel, which feeling is something that this group needs to do more of instead of thinking.
Yes, I'm thinking of that quote from that drama that I watched that was called Still 17. And one of the characters, he says, don't think, feel. That's you guys. You need to do that.
Yes. Well, and you also need to communicate how you're feeling. Not what you think, how you're feeling. Expect powerful change.
Yes, I'm hearing you need to opposite Elsa. You need to not conceal and feel and let everyone know.
But still let it go.
Yes, you gotta reverse Elsa though.
Hold on. Yeah, it's making that noise again. So this is a woodwick candle. So if you hear any like weird noises, it's just the candle making a really strange noise, and I don't know why. And yes, okay. They're cheating, but that's fine. You're very close to achieving your goal.
Hey.
Just don't tell the other groups. And then prosperity lies ahead, which is new moon in Taurus. Taurus and Cancer season is over the summer, so that's going to be late April through May, and then May through June. Do I have my months right?
No, Cancer is June and July.
July. Yeah, so May through July, basically. Okay, and then, let's see.
I don't know why, but I'm hearing Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou, Romeo? So
You got
maybe some of you looking for some nerve.
Maybe. You got number 32, which is trust, which is egg moon. Looking for love. Well, you did get that ready to love message too.
Yeah, you did.
And then you got action, which is number 15.
I think you got 15 on one of the last pile, like in the last section of oracles too. That was one of your numbers.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
I'm also hearing Mine by Taylor Swift. Sorry.
you got number 34, which is Ubuntu, which is compassion for others. Ooh. Okay, hold on.
You are the best thing.
Threw a bunch of cards. And then you have number 23, which is Panacea, which is there is a solution for every problem. The number 5 has come up a lot for this group. You have 32 and 23 right here, which is 5. You also have 7. This is 10. This is 6 and 7 again.
Yes.
And then at the bottom of the deck is Euphoria, which is number 9, honor yourself.
Hey, I said 9 was important, so there you go.
Yes. So what I'm really picking up with this is we've kind of already gone over it. But basically, like, you have a lot of blessings and a lot of prosperity coming to you, and you're very close to like receiving these things. Like, you're very close to achieving a big goal for you. And you're going through a powerful transformational period right now in general. But yes, expect powerful change and know that it's coming. Have trust in the universe and know that no matter what, these things are coming to you, and you already know that. Like, you're already taking the actions you need to take. Just allow yourself to feel and to breathe for like 2 seconds. Like, just allow yourself to kind of be in this moment, to take the time to feel things and to acknowledge what you've done already. And know that if anything ever comes up, like if any problem comes along your way, it's going to be okay. And it doesn't mean that these things are going to just disappear. Like, things are still going the correct way, regardless of what problem pops up. And, you know, you're going to encounter problems in life. Like, that's just part of living a human life. And it does get hard sometimes, but just know that you know what ultimately is meant for you in this life, and it's coming. And you're very close to achieving a really big goal for you, whether that's emotionally, physically, mentally, financially, job wise, relationship wise, whatever it may be. There's a big blessing coming into you because you've done all of this change and all of this transformation already. Like, you are very well taken care of. And just remember that, you know, this compassion for others card almost gives me more of a like compassion for the self as well, like kind of radiating that compassion in and out. And one thing that might help you feel more connected is to help others. So that could mean like volunteering for causes, or, you know, even like doing healing work for other people if you're a healer, giving advice, being the shoulder to lean on, being a support system. Like, if you have the capacity to do so and you want that human connection with somebody, like if you show that compassion to others, they're going to show it back to you. And the ones that don't deserve to be in your life and deserve to be let go. So just know that, like, you know, if you give others that compassion, you should be giving yourself that same compassion back. And not only that, but the more love you show yourself and to others, like the more love you receive too. So it's just a matter of having that same compassion that you have for others for yourself, but also expressing that compassion and doing things that make you feel lifted up and that help you feel connected are going to be really helpful for you.
Sorry, writing down your channel messages. Okay. So first thing was that I got that song. Is all I do is win, win, win no matter what. So like, I think your guides kind of want to like pump you up a little bit and like be a little more lighthearted, so that, you know, like if you know that song, like maybe it's a guilty pleasure song or something like that. But I just want you to know that like no matter what, you're heading towards a win. Like, they're not leaving you to like rot, basically. They also mentioned that because of the grand trine, they wanted me to let you know that there are going to be 3 big significant changes and blessings for you. Yours is the only group, I think, that they gave me a specific number of how many changes there are going to be. Like, it doesn't mean those are the only changes, like just 3, like it could be more, but they're emphasizing that there are going to be 3 huge changes, like 3 like dramatic shifts. For me, what they said, what for most of you, what this is going to involve is career, love, and your creativity. Those are the 3 areas that they told me that we're going to really shift. Your creativity might be part of your career. Your creativity could just be a side hobby. You might find love through your creativity in your career. I really don't know. I'm just telling you that those are the 3 areas that they told me. Like, they said, whenever you watch this reading, come back a year from now and watch how much everything has shifted in that area, in those areas of your life, or whatever it is that it might not be these 3 things because there's lots of people watching this, but those are probably something where you're going to see some type of shift.
Yes, exciting. Okay, we will get your person card. So this is going to give us an idea, maybe some things that you can embody for yourself from the characters of Nightmare Before Christmas. Or it could just be some things that are coming in for you. So we'll see what we get. Sally came out for group 1. And I made enough that like each group got a different person. So if you were drawn to group 1, I would say definitely watch that group.
If you get Jack, then definitely.
You got the Mayor. Considerate, trustworthy, responsible, and communicative. Gemini and Virgo, so this is more Mercury energy.
Hey.
Communication, reputation, fame, and money are on the list of things that could be coming in for you. Okay, and then we'll get 2 of these. These have quotes and channeled messages. Let's see, they're quotes from the movie. And you get each group is getting 2 of these. So we'll see about how they, okay. All right. So we have say it once, say it twice, take a chance and roll the dice, which is the last group's pile topper. Fountains, coins, March, the number 7, bats, 66, amber, lantern, cape, colonial times, scary movies, SYML, that's an artist, like a musician, piano, night, and BTS. So some music references came out here. Amber, when I wrote this, I remember I was thinking specifically like the crystal amber. But if your name's Amber, that could be confirmation for you. And then one of these bats came out in pile 1. So that's just if you felt drawn to that.
Yes.
And then your other one, the monsters are all missing and the nightmares can't be found. In their place, there seems to be good feeling all around. Well, that's really fitting for this group. This is from What's This, which is when he goes to Christmas Town. But it says Christmas, train, travel, white, December, toys, movies, 5, blankets, 13, fire, sweatpants, childish Gambino, music, and rest.
Lol.
So just letting you know, you just saw me shuffle these and I had no idea what was on them. So just take those messages and do with them what you will.
Yes.
I think there was lots of confirmation in there for you.
Mm-hmm. I want to point out that like you had number 7, which was something I channeled, and I also mentioned the Christmas time as well for you guys. So that's definitely super important. Also, while Bekah was reading these, I got Lucky by Colby Calais that came through.
And Jason Mraz.
Yeah, and Jason Mraz. So that's a very like, especially that part where they said, "Lucky I'm in love with my best friend. Lucky to have been where I have been. Lucky to be coming home again." That's the part that was playing kind of on a loop. So that could be important for you guys.
Okay. We're gonna do this guy here. Also, you did mention the number 4 in your channeled messages, and 13 adds up to 4. So I thought I'd mention that.
Yes, I did. Good catch.
Okay, and then we're gonna do charms first. Sorry, I just knocked my thing off here. Good thing it has a lid on it. Okay. We're gonna do charms first to see kind of maybe some stuff that's coming in for you. Sorry, I forgot how loud that was. See if any wants to fall
ASMR.
out. Yeah. Okay. So most of your charms landed in a 4-month period.
Similar to group 1, just saying.
Yes. So this is very interesting. So starting in April, you have hello.
It's me.
Yes. So that makes me think of that song. Yes. But that also makes me think that you might be meeting somebody important in April. You have this little star, which for some reason the song Beautiful. Oh yeah. There's a quote, there's a lyric in Beautiful Night by Monsta X that says something about little star, but I don't remember what it was.
Yeah.
But
little star.
yeah, so that's coming out. But the star for me is all about hope, and about dreams. So this almost looks like a marquee star too. So it may be that like you have some big dream or like a hope, or you know, are being noticed for something like that could be happening around that time. You have Scorpio, which is passionate in May. So maybe you're meeting a Scorpio, or maybe you're going through a certain type of transformation or feeling a lot more passionate in May. You also have the mirror, which for me, the mirror usually represents like twin flames. So if you believe in that, otherwise it's just about like reflection and about like beauty and allowing yourself to be seen as you are. Again, so that could go well with that little star message. But if it is about your twin flame, maybe you're meeting a Scorpio in May. In June, you have a little cactus, which is a summer symbol, but like the cactus for me, it holds a lot of water, and it's very self-sustaining. So you might be feeling pretty like independent, and you notice how there's little flowers blooming on here. You might be in like an energy of like working really hard on like a project and like seeing it bloom and come to fruition in June. You also have a little crown. So again, like feeling that independent, like you're on your game, like your A game in June.
Just can't wait to be king.
Yes. You also have the skull and crossbones, which for me again is about transformation, death. It's more Scorpio energy again. So there might be some sort of like big transformation that happens in this time period. And then you also got truth for July. So there might be something coming to light, or some information happening, or some truths coming forward in July. Or you might be seeing things more clearly or get some sort of clarity in July. Now, of course, I have no idea exactly for sure what any of that clarity is going to be about, but that's something that came up for July as well.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Also heard yo ho pirate's life for me. And that song, I should have written it down earlier. It was like there were so many messages coming in, I forgot, but it would have been great confirmation for you guys. I had heard that song from Princess Diaries, the Catch a Falling Star and Put It in Your Pocket, which kind of talks again about like the dreams and like not letting that stuff fade away.
Yes. Okay. We're gonna do some stickers. I'm gonna try not to like get too crazy here with the... I'm like, I gotta watch how many are coming out. Okay. Oh, okay. Interesting. You have some stuff that landed kind of in the middle and some on the outside. Okay, so I'm gonna leave this over here, but this is definitely like all over the thing. So in the middle, you have stay in your magic. So that tells me like stay believing in the magic and knowing that like no matter what, the entirety of like the next year at least is going to be magical for you. February and March, you have Away We Go, which is it's a little bus, like a double-decker bus. So this is from a travel set. Yeah, so this is for me telling me that you may have some opportunity to travel or to go somewhere, take a little trip or maybe a vacation like between February and March. Between May and April, you have I need all the coffee.
As I just sipped my coffee, lol.
Yeah. So in that time frame, you may be kind of going through a time where you're taking a little more rest, or you need a little bit more coffee because you're working really hard. So just know that that might be a busy time for you, especially since we did get all of that stuff down here. Overall, you have good vibes only. So again, that kind of goes with that, like, stay in your magic, like things are going to be great. And then I don't want to get too far, but these are August, September, October. You have a camera. So this for me is like making memories, also reminiscing, maybe like nostalgia during that time. Especially for those of you that have a birthday within this period, like you might be making new like birthday memories, or like you may be reminiscing about birthdays past. That's coming through. You have you have the little bear crying and the other one like comforting it. And that's for me about like opening up and letting people like comfort you and be there for you. And maybe like you're going through like some stress and someone's there to like hold you during that. You have rise and shine. So maybe some early mornings, or it's just going to be really like sunshiny, like kind of like that happy vibe, like things are going really well and like you're really excited to wake up in the morning, make yourself some breakfast and like have your nice start to your day, or maybe you'll have like a new routine at that time. And then the last thing is like this, it's a really pretty like night sky. It actually has, I believe that's Aries, I think. Trying to remember if that's right or not. I don't know. It's a constellation. But basically you have like this really pretty night sky with all of these trees. So maybe like astrology, astronomy is important for you, checking out your signs, having somebody do a reading for you could be really important, but also like stargazing could be something that you really enjoy. Or you might be taking like a hike out in like the forest and you might see a really beautiful, like, starry sky. So like maybe you're going to be going on like trips or like spending a lot of time like out in nature in this time frame as well.
Mm-hmm. I agree with all of that, and it sounds like you guys have a very eventful, beautiful months coming up. Year really, lots of great changes. What I again want to emphasize is that in this reading, I think your guides really, really wanted to pump you up and just reassure you that these things are coming and that they're not like leaving you high and dry, and just to kind of sit with those shadows and acknowledge them and know that like good things are really coming for you and that you're not being hoodwinked.
Yes, I definitely agree. Hopefully that gave you some hope and some excitement and some confirmation. And let us know, leave a like, comment, hit subscribe. We always like hearing from you. But if you wanted to, you could pick one of the other groups. You don't have to, but you can pick as many groups as you want and listen to those messages too. Also, you can check out our social media. It's all linked below, as well as our weekly playlist from Spotify is down there too. So if you are someone that's really into music, like the reading was talking about, you can definitely check that out. But otherwise, hopefully we will see you in the next reading.
Mm-hmm. Bye. Happy Halloween.
Bye. If you picked pile 4, you picked Lock, Shock, and Barrel, which are the 3 naughty kids. And then you have Hallow Weird as your pumpkin. And then for your quote, you have, "Oh, there's an empty place in my bones that calls out for something unknown," which is very mystical message. But basically, this reading is about changes that are coming in. It's themed as "I sense there's something in the wind," which is from Sally's song. And so it's all about like changes coming in, maybe some transformations that are taking place, blessings, gifts, things that are going to be happening. And it's not like a set time frame, and it's also a timeless reading. So whenever you stumble across this, it's the right time for you. But also like there's no set time frame, as far as we don't ask them for like a year or 6 months or 3 months or anything like that. We kind of just let them tell us what they want to tell us and give us some information. So if, for instance, like we go through the stickers and like some months don't have any stickers in them, it doesn't mean like nothing's going to happen during those months. It just means that they're highlighting other things. So just keep that in mind. I don't know why that message is coming through strong for this group, but it is. You have we have tarot cards, we have oracle cards, we have some homemade oracle cards, and then Laina's doing channeled messages throughout as well. And then we will do this is actually a Nightmare Before Christmas calendar yearly thing. So we'll do charms and stickers on this to kind of give you an idea of maybe some stuff that's coming in and what time you can maybe expect that potentially. Now, obviously, always take timing with a grain of salt because, you know, depending on who you are and who's watching, like one thing might be right for somebody, but not for somebody else. So take whatever resonates for you. And just know that like we can't guarantee anything, but this is just to give you an idea. So we will see with your tarot cards, maybe some things or some changes that are happening or what's going on or what your guys want you to know. You have the Queen of Needles, which is the Queen of Swords. I forgot to tell you, I will be doing live shuffling for everything. You have the Queen of Candles, which is the Queen of Wands. Big queen energy already in this group. And already a lot of like mental and spiritual and creative energy and power in this group. You have the Two of Presents, which is the Two of Pentacles, and that's all about like balance and stability, creating stability through balance. Ooh. Okay. You have the Ace of Cups, the Hermit. This card is like haunting us today.
Mm-hmm.
And then you also have, wow, the Queen of Cups is the bottom of the deck. Dang. Good song. Okay. So basically, lots of queen energy. So this group is going through a transformation and stepping into like their queen power. But not only that, like I feel like with this group, you're really learning to balance out all of these different things. So you're learning how to balance like your practicality, your creativity, your spirituality with like your emotions, your feelings, thoughts, fears, things that are kind of hidden down further deep too. Like you're kind of taking all of these things and kind of bringing them to a place of equilibrium within yourself. And with that, you're getting like this emotionally fulfilling offer because you've done the work to balance these energies out. Like spirit wants you to know that you're actually getting an offer in from the universe that's meant for you and that you're able to use to really help you move forward from here. I feel like it's something that like, it's kind of like, I don't even know how to explain the vibe, but it's kind of like you're sitting in your power and kind of like going about your day. And then all of a sudden it's like this hand reaches out with this thing and is like, here, this is for you. And you're like, oh, well, thank you. I wasn't even expecting it. Like, that's kind of the vibe that I'm getting from this group. So it might be that you get like an unexpected surprise out of nowhere. And it's just really exciting. Like it's not anything scary. And it's not like you're like, oh crap, I have to run for the hills. It's like you've done all the balancing beforehand. So whenever this thing comes in, you're like ready for it and excited for it, but you don't expect it either. And so that's really, really exciting. And I think that it's going to make you feel very, very happy on a very deep level. And I think that, you know, this surprise is going to be a very welcome surprise. It's going to allow you to really open up even more than you already have with all of these balancing energies.
Yes, I agree wholeheartedly. First thing I want to say for this group, there's a lot of like pressure in the temples, which can be like for some of you that could be a advancement in spiritual power, since we've kind of had a couple messages about spirituality. But for some of you, like maybe you need more water because like there could be like some headaches and things like that. So I'm just getting a little message of like take care of yourself. You guys got a couple different little messages, shows or things like specifically animes that might be comforting for you. Would be Yona of the Dawn. We got, which again, she is actually someone who is meant to become queen, but that gets taken away from her when her father gets murdered, and then she kind of has to fight to get back her kingdom. So that's kind of funny because I channeled that before Bekah pulled these cards. So interesting. Orange, Your Name, and then The Legend of Korra. All of those are really good, like powerful woman shows, so that doesn't surprise me. We also got salamander, a locket, and then Christmas cookies. So I wanted to, because those came in as like Bekah was talking. And then with your cards here, kind of what I'm hearing from Spirit is that, like, I think for a lot of you, you're really comfortable with your Queen of Cups energy, which is why it's on the bottom of the deck, because it's kind of like your default is what I'm hearing. And now you're learning to incorporate the other queens, because ideally, right, like in tarot, to make a balanced person, you want to be able to embody like all of the kings and queens, and you want to, you know, like have that all kind of balanced out. And so that kind of goes along with what Bekah was saying about how you're learning to balance out all this different energy. And I think because we have the Queen of Swords and then the Queen of Wands, which Wands is spirit and swords are mental, I think you're learning how to find that middle ground between what is, you know, like factual, like, you know, backed up by science, like mental, versus like what is spiritual. So that it kind of, and that's going to bring you that Ace of Cups, that emotional fulfillment. And like, I think that you have a very different way of seeing things, and that's why you're kind of learning to balance. And the Hermit energy makes me think that, like, because the Hermit gives me that like going within, you know how to, because you kind of know how to go within and see things a little bit differently than everyone else. I think you're kind of being encouraged to share these things. And that's kind of why you're also learning to balance them at the same time, because I think with this group that there's a lot of mental energy that can kind of kill the spirit a little bit, in the sense of that, like, you might think that your ideas are too out there, or too woo-woo, or like, I'm too sensitive, I'm too this, I'm too duh. And Spirit's like, no, you need to calm the voice that's in the back of your head saying that you can't, because it's actually really emotionally fulfilling for you to share that and to bring those little things out of your little hermit closet and be like, look at this thing I made, or like, look at this thing that I think I have all these notes, because you actually never know how helpful that's going to be to someone else.
Yes, I definitely agree. Okay, let's get into, sorry, your oracle cards. Ooh, I will shuffle. Okay. One thing for this group, any cards that come out that have like a scent or that have a plant on them, like that could be either like an essential oil, or you can try to cook with those things. And that could be helpful for you as far as keeping things healthy, could be, or clearing the energy or your space, or just kind of giving you like a comforting vibe. Okay. You have ginger, which is power, which ginger is actually used a lot in Asian foods. So that's something to take note of. Like maybe that could be something you incorporate into your diet.
Mm-hmm. It's also good for upset bellies.
Yes, it is. Ginger tea is delicious. Gingerbread time is Christmas time. So Laina already channeled that. Okay. And then you have chocolate aphrodisiac, which this came out in group 1, just saying. And then just to show you the bottom of the deck, because it seemed important, you got mugwort, which is intuition, which again is tea. So tea may be something that you want to drink if you don't already. Okay, let's see your animals. Okay. Your first one is toad, which is fortune. Exciting. Fortune is on its way.
Fortune favors the bold, is what I just heard.
Power. Oh, and then you have wolf, which is communication. And then just to show you the bottom of the deck, mouse advantage. And then let's get
Sandy Clouds feeding with.
okay. Your first one is number 35, which is focus, which is stock. This also came out in pile 1. This is Sagittarian energy. Which, by the way, that could mean Sagittarius season. So when we film this, we're in Scorpio season, and Sagittarius season starts on November 22nd. Ooh. I lost a whole bunch of cards. Hold on. Okay. You have number 4, which is emotion, and it's the cucumber, and it's Cancer energy. Oh, you got a couple extra. Okay. You have number 40, which is Leo energy. It's positivity, which is the marigold. There's also a dream catcher on here. So that, and you have the hand and then incense. So all that spirituality is coming through. But with the dream catcher, pay attention to dreams. You have the moon and the stars here. So dreams dreams could be important for you. And then you have number 41, which is purification, which is Gemini energy. And it's snapdragon. It's a very pretty flower.
Mm-hmm.
And then the bottom of the deck, I'll just show you. I'm laughing. Is number 23, which is abundance, which is the grape.
Grappies.
Yes. So, incorporating grapes. Grapes are actually really, really good for you. So, that could be important. But also, basically what I'm seeing is you have a lot of fortune coming to you. So, you're going to be feeling a lot more focused and a lot more balanced emotionally. And it's going to be a lot more positive. Like the energy that you're going to be in is going to feel a lot more positive and a lot lighter and a lot more free. And I feel like you're going through a purification time right now. And that time is allowing you to really let go of anything that you no longer need so that you can allow the positivity and allow the balance in and allow yourself to focus on stuff that's not within as much so that you can it's kind of like that whole saying about how your outer world reflects your inner world. The more that you find peace within and allow those things that aren't serving you go, the more your world around you is going to reflect that as well, because you're putting out that energy and that's what you'll get back. Now, this I feel like has the same or similar message to pile 1, which is about self-care. So for me, tapping into that self-care and saying like, oh man, I really want some hot chocolate. Like give your inner child the hot chocolate, man. Like life's too short. Basically take care of yourself and allow yourself to have those things sometimes that make you feel good. Like you should be doing things that make you feel loved and supported and comforted. That's really important for you to feel that positivity and to feel your emotions and to let yourself process and know that, it's okay to communicate when you need support. So whether that be through asking questions or through expressing your opinion or asking for help or just voicing how you feel in general, like that could be really, really important for you. Even communicating about your positivity or about your journey, your purification, what's been going on for you, helping others, just having that connection with people and allowing yourself to communicate and to be heard is really, really important for this group. Regardless of what you do or don't do, though, you have fortune and power coming in. So you're going to be feeling a lot more in your power, a lot stronger, a lot more solid in who you are and what you want and what you're doing. And you're not going to be feeling as either like doubtful or scared or, like Laina said, like you're balancing the mental with the spiritual. So allowing yourself to believe and not arguing with yourself as much. And even when that voice comes in, you're going to be able to fight that and say basically like, I can hear you, And you can say that and you can stay here as long as you want, but I'm still going to believe what I believe, basically. And I know you're scared, and that's okay. Like, that's kind of the vibe, is you're allowing yourself to talk to yourself in a much better way. And in doing that and communicating with yourself that way, that's what's allowing you to purify, bring in that positivity and that self-love and nurturing. And that's going to reflect around you as well.
Mm-hmm. I agree. So I want to repeat the fortune favors the bold, because they're really kind of emphasizing that for me. And they're also emphasizing the line from that song that from Nightmare Before, the kidnap Sandy Claus, beat him with a stick. Not that line, but the line about see what makes him tick. And so what I get with that is that I kind of talked about how you guys need to share like what's inside, like that different perspective that you have. For some of you, I get that like maybe people have found like what you've said annoying, or maybe you've never spoken up because you've had a fear that people will find, you know, you annoying, or what you think, or like that you are too out there, or too this or too that. And I'm kind of getting from spirit like they want you to know not to play small, because you have a ton that you could say that could actually be really helpful to people, and a ton of things that you feel that might be really valuable to other people and helping them. And I think part of your, like, yes, self-care is about like taking care of yourself and putting other people first, but I think part of your purpose and part of your self-care actually is that you do really like helping people. I kind of get a lot of Virgo energy in the sense of like, you feel really good when you're useful to someone else. And that doesn't, and of course, like, please, you know, make sure that you're also taking care of yourself. You still come first no matter what. But I think you get a lot of emotional fulfillment off of helping other people. And like, it's kind of like a mix of like, you need to have that Leo energy meet the Virgo energy. So it's like, in order to help people, you need to be able to be bold and be yourself and be you. Like, damn whatever anyone else thinks. And that's really going to help you like make a big stride for yourself. And like, yeah, because you have that power and stuff like that. So like, that's going to be, and I almost feel like your energy is the aphrodisiac for other people. And I don't mean like sexually, like, I mean, maybe for some of you, like, do you? But I mean, in the sense that like, when you speak, you command a room, people listen. You have a way of saying things that are important and needed for other people to hear, but they can't hear them if you don't speak. So that's kind of something that they're really emphasizing. And that quote from the Cinderella story, the "don't let the fear of striking out keep you from playing the game," that quote popped into my head. So I think that that's something you guys really have to consider, is that even if you feel silly or whatever, like, your words, the things that you do, the things that like they really do matter. And just kind of like, all I'm really hearing from you is like, your voice is needed right now. So don't be afraid to step out and actually authentically be who you are. Like I said, damn what anyone else thinks.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Okay. Get the rest of your oracle cards, and then we'll do the homemade ones. Okay, so some of these are astrology cards. They might give you time frame, or they'll just give you like an area of your life where things are changing. Ooh, exciting. Okay, you have part of fortune, which is number 45, which is increase.
Do you think they want you to know that your fortune's going to increase, or?
I don't know. Okay. Nope. They decided against it. They turned over half the deck on top of that one. Okay. Oh, this came out for the last group too. You have Grand Trine, which is blessings.
Oh, that's exciting.
Okay. Let's Some Moonology cards. You have step out of your comfort zone.
Step out, we are stray kids.
I know I'm not doing this on camera. It's just easier if I have them closer to me, but we will see. That's way too many. It was like 5. One more. There you go. Okay. And then, oh, more Gemini energy. The answers you need are coming. Full moon in Gemini. I'm trying to remember when the full moon in Gemini is.
It would be in Sagittarius season.
I was gonna say December, right?
Yes, which you did guys, you did guys, sorry. You guys did get a highlight for Sagittarius season.
Yes. Okay, I'll get 2 of these. Okay, this also came out. 24, protection. I think that was in group 2.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then 28 shot out, peace, which is waning crescent. And then the bottom of the deck, just to show you because it looks important, is fear, which is number 11. And we'll get 2 of these.
So I have 2 17 songs in my head. I have Highlight and then Fear, obviously, by 17. Both great songs. Might be important for you.
Your first one is Lavaria, which is Let Love Grow, number 14.
Oh, that's so soft. Bekah, what song is it in when Honey says "Excuse my charisma" by Monster X?
That's an old one. I'll have to look it up. But your last card is Buho, which is Transform the Way You See, number 2. Excuse my charisma. That's an old song. I'm trying to remember what one that is. Anyways.
It's Trespass.
Oh, it's literally their first song. Debut
that
song
popped into my head, so there you go.
Yes, I knew it was old. I didn't know it was their debut. Okay. Anyways, Trespass, Monster X. But basically, you're being encouraged to step out of your comfort zone. So your North Node is where you go in astrology to see, is where you look in astrology to see where you need to develop. So it's something that you can use to develop on your purpose. It's like your life's goal in this life, like your soul's destiny in this life is usually your North Node. It also is your MC as well. Your midheaven is also part of that, but your North Node tells you where you can focus to develop and move forward on your path and your purpose. Now, I feel like you're already doing this, which is why you have part of fortune increase and the grand trine blessings coming in. So I feel for this group, like you do have a lot of blessings and a lot of fortune and increase coming to you, and they're coming in fast, and the answers you need are coming. Not only does this tell me like Sagittarius season, which is literally just in December, like it's end of November into December. So that's very quickly. But it's telling me that anything that you've been seeking out answer wise, you're going to be getting clarity on it. And you're protected at all times. And I think your guides want you overall just to feel at peace with things. They want you to feel in a place where you're not constantly stressed, where you're not worrying, where you're just kind of in this place of allowing things to be and allowing them to flow. And it's almost like you're going through this, the reason why you're going through what you're going through right now is so that you can release things. I was kind of talking about how you were opening things up and like letting things go so that you could let other things in earlier, like vaguely, but basically you're allowing peace to come in, but with it, it's going to be bringing you love. And I think for this group, it's really important that you keep yourself open and that you keep your heart open to people that are trying to give you love. Because I think that there's going to be so much stuff coming in that you might get a little overwhelmed, and it might be tempting to kind of be like, oh, you know, like, oh, this is too much for me, or like, I don't know if I deserve all this. And it's like, you do deserve all this, and you're allowed to let these things happen and to let them in and to allow yourself to feel that peace and that excitement and that love. And make sure that like I know Laina talked about how like with this group, you tend to enjoy helping other people. And I think that's very, very true, but don't forget yourself along the way. Because the thing is sometimes you can get into that space of like, well, it feels real good to help others. And you do that and you help and you help and you help and you help, and you forget that you also need to fill your cup too. And so you help all these people, and then, you know, a couple weeks later, you're like, man, I'm so tired. I just need a break. And it's like, well, you might have been able to go a little bit longer if you alternate in balance, which is kind of like that balancing out that I was talking about earlier with the tarot cards too. Like, you're allowing for love to come into your life and for yourself to give love to others, yes, but you also need to make sure that you're taking care of yourself too. So there's kind of like this, again, that's a balance between three things. Allowing love to come in, giving love to others, and loving yourself are three different things. And I feel that goes right back to having those three queens. So for me, it really is about, you've been finding this balance and it's bringing all of these great things in with it. And so now it's kind of up to you, just allow these things to happen and allow them to come in, and know that anything that's not here is on its way, and that you are protected. Your manifestations are protected, your peace, the answers that you want, your destiny, all of that is protected, and you are on path, and everything is going exactly as it's supposed to go.
Mm-hmm. I agree with all of that. So the K-drama Love Alarm came through, and it's specifically with that Let Love Grow card. And I say this because in that particular drama, the main character, Jojo, she has a hard time letting love in because of like past trauma and things like that. And so, you know, if there is stuff from your past, you know, like Bekah was talking about, things coming up so you can release them, that might be why. So like if things do feel a little heavy right now, it's because you're trying to release them so that you can choose to actually let love in. And that drama might be really comforting and healing for you. I highly recommend season 1. Season 2 was kind of meh. It was okay. Like I think that they rushed it because of, you know, like the panorama. So, and then it didn't turn out as well as it could have. But anyway, I digress. It's a great drama despite that crappy second season. Not crappy, but not as good. They also gave the message of allow yourself to change and flow no matter what. And with that, they were showing me the card, the one that says transform the way you see, because I think a lot of you, because we got a lot of that Sagittarius, kind of Gemini energy, which both of those tend to be signs that they change like quite a lot. And that's not a bad thing at all. I think that you're afraid to let yourself be different. So I almost feel like, oh, there's a book that I read. And I think there's a K-drama about this too, but I haven't watched it yet, so I can't tell you if it's good or not. But there's a book that I read where this person actually wakes up in a different body or something. I don't know if it's every day, I can't remember, or like every week or something like that. And so obviously this is more metaphorical, because unless you do wake up in a different body every day, which like that's interesting. Hello, leave a comment. I'd like to chat. But if you know, like, it's, to me, this is like, sometimes we wake up and we have a different like feeling today of like what we want to be. You know how when you're a little kid and you wake up one day and you're like, I'm gonna be a fireman, and then you wake up the next day and you're like, today I'm a princess, and then you wake up the next day and you're like, today I'm a veterinarian. You know, let yourself be that. So like if you wake up today and you're really passionate about, like, let's just say, because we got so much spiritual stuff, astrology, let yourself explore that day. And then if you wake up the next day and you're like, yeah, astrology was fun, I loved learning about it, but now I want to learn about, I want to learn a new recipe, then do that. Like, don't be afraid of the fact that you might be more mutable and transformable than other people, because that is a strength for you. It's not a weakness. And I think a lot of you have felt that, like, again, like I said, that part of you is weak because a lot of people in this day in society want consistency. And just as people, we're not really consistent beings, most of us. And so there's a lot of like, you need to be consistent. You need to be on time every day. You need to do this. You need to do that. And it's like, if that's not your energy and not your vibe, don't force that. Let yourself, like I said, be different. And then I also saw 222 on the clock when Bekah was talking. So that could be an important number for you.
Yes. Okay. We're going to go ahead and see which character from Nightmare Before Christmas you either need to embody or maybe that is like you. And it also might tell you some things that are coming in. We made sure that none of the groups got the same person. Okay. Okay, let's see. Oh, my bad, I ripped the tape. You got Lock, Shock, and Barrel. Look at that.
Lol.
Loyal, lucky, smart, teamwork, Gemini, and Aries. Friends, social groups, networking, and safety are all coming in for you.
Yay.
And then let me get you two of these. These have quotes from the movie. And then they also have channeled messages. Okay, I guess we're taking those two.
All right then.
Okay, so your first one is, there are few who deny what I do, I am the best, for my talents are renowned far and wide, which is the quote from group 1. Glasses, books, crafting, the number 4, college, whiteboard, chalk, fall, leaves, turkey, football, city, walking, and the color orange.
Dude, I got the drama orange. I need to go right now. That's a great drama, by the way. It's about not a drama, sorry. Well, it is a drama, but it's an anime drama. It is about a girl, like a group of friends, which is funny because you're that thing about a group of friends who send letters to their past selves to try and help a friend who was suffering from depression, and they didn't know that he was suffering from depression. He ended up taking his life, so they send their letters back to their past selves to change that and like reform them as a friend group. It's really good and very healing. I highly recommend it.
Okay. The other one that you got is, and for a moment why I even touched the sky, and at least I left some stories they can tell. And then the channel messages are ocean, boat, rain, the number 16, blue, candles, mist, treasure hunting, South America, Aztecs, gold, retreat, Reiki, chakras, and yoga. So some healing stuff for you guys as well. That could be that you need to get a healing, or maybe that you are somebody that is a healer and you can do those for other people as well. And that might be a way that you like to serve other people that you enjoy. Sorry, that tape was bothering me. Okay, so I will put these away, and then we can do my favorite part, which is the charms and the stickers. Okay, all right, here's our little calendar. Then we'll start with your charms. I'm gonna try not to go too ham with these. I know they're loud, I'm sorry. Okay. We got some stuff off the map. Okay, you have the letter F. Friendship is coming through immediately, especially since you had that on that card already. So you may have a new like friend circle or family. Soul family could be coming in. In general, like, they might not give you time. They also gave you Cancer, which is imaginative. So you might be feeling a lot more imaginative, or you might have Cancer in your chart. This didn't come through with the time frame, so you might be meeting a Cancer in general. It could also be that Cancer season is important as well, over the summer. And then we'll start over here. So over July, August, you got Taurus, which is trustworthy. So you may meet somebody that's a Taurus, or maybe you have Taurus placements, or it could just be that you're meeting someone who's trustworthy, or there may be a situation that you can trust in, that comes around that time. You also got Brave. So again, fortune favors the bold, right? So fortune favors the brave, basically. So Brave, Lion time is August. So there might be some Leo energy, but there might be something that calls you to be brave and to step out of your comfort zone. You have X, which for me, X can be a lot of different things. Like X can be infinity. X can be, this times this. It could be the letter X as in like xylophone. It could be literally so many different things. But for me, you also got that treasure hunting reference. So X marks the spot is coming through. So that could be important. Like there could be some treasure in August and September. And then in October, you have this is a payphone. So this is actually from a London charm set. So maybe some of you are taking a visit to England in October, or it could just be you get a very important phone call, or you have some very important communication that comes through in October. It could be very important for you.
Take me with you to London.
London. Okay.
Yes. Tokyo. Sorry, I'm sorry to holding no jokes.
London. Okay.
Yeah, actually, they say it more like London.
London. London. Yes. Okay. I'm gonna try to. The stickers are the harder part because I can't hold it up too far without like bumping into the camera. So I'm like, but I will do my best. Okay, that's nope.
That's too much.
Way too many. We're just gonna put some of those back. I'm gonna try not to get these into the box though, because I don't need those in there. Okay, bold, please. We're gonna leave that. All right. There, to make it fair. Also, this one wants to come out, so we'll stick them over. I was like, I know I put that one back, but we're gonna keep that. Okay. So this is a Christmas tree and a little car.
Beep beep.
Yes. So Christmas time, again, very important. December. It could be that you go to like a tree farm and meet somebody, or it could just be that like you enjoy decorating, and that could be something that gets you kind of into a more cheerful and happy spirit. You have the little location marker. The song Location by Khalid is in my head, but basically this is telling me like maybe you'll be traveling, or maybe you'll be visiting a place that you've never visited before, like that's on your bucket list. You have Noel, which again, Christmas time. You also have a little plant, so growth. I feel like there's going to be a lot of growth coming in, internally and externally. Things might be expanding. You have the alien. So maybe there's some Aquariuses that are watching this pile, but basically the alien is about like feeling like maybe you're a little out there, or a little woo, like Laina was talking about, but being okay with it too. Like it's okay to be weird and to be different, and to embrace that. Now, this is fun. Okay, so we're gonna not start with this. We'll end with that, but we'll go here. So let me flip these over. Okay, so your first one is like June and May-ish, which is a little Instagram post of little kites. So for me, this means that like maybe you'll be going on a vacation in June and May. Maybe you'll be traveling, because I think these are actually in Asia. If I remember correctly, they're Asian kites. So maybe you'll be going to Asia, or maybe you'll just be having some time outside in the sun at like the beach, or like at a kite festival or something like that. Like, or just being very free, feeling very free and playful and excited. You also have first day of winter, but it's in July. So maybe you'll have Christmas in July, or maybe that's winter where you're at. Who knows? But also, this could be that you did something like around the first day of winter, like prior, that comes to fruition in like the August, July period. Like a project or something. You also have these two little hands that have like the planets inside of them, and like they have friendship bracelets. So again, this for me is about friendship and about like, meeting people that get you on a soul level. This could also be a relationship because I think this is a masculine feminine sticker as well. So it could be that like you're balancing out either your inner divine masculine and feminine, or you're meeting somebody that helps you feel balanced or helps you feel like they're your counterpart, or it's just a really, really good friendship that's coming in for you. And then this came out around the same time. So you could be meeting somebody important romantically. But this is a little couple sticker and she's making like a little kissy face. I don't know if you can see it. And he just looks like, so there might be some like playful vibes there.
You might be
And
meeting
then,
a tsundere.
yes. And then in October, you have the passport, not the passport, it's like a public transportation. And then you have the wine and cheese board. So you could be, again, traveling, spending some time like investing in yourself and in travel and learning about other cultures and about other places, or you could just be, sightseeing or trying new things or doing things that make you feel more at home and happy and like make you feel loved and cared for with other people, especially.
Yes. I want to point out that little bus ticket looks like a London bus to me, like a little bit. I know it kind of just looks, I don't know why, but, and you had that like payphone in October as well. So like really there's a strong like Europe vibe. And Noel, I was hearing like Joyeux Noel, which is like, I believe that's Happy Christmas. Yeah. Like, yeah, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, it means like Merry Christmas in French. So, and with the wine and the cheese plate, like you might be traveling in Europe, which again, like I said, I'm really jealous. So please take me.
I didn't even notice these. You have a pumpkin truck. You have wrap gifts. And then this little sticker is flipped over too. You have yummy.
Oh, cute.
Yes. So more self-care gifts, again, makes me think of like Christmas time, although this is pink. So this kind of makes me think of Valentine's Day. And then you also have the little autumn truck. So I think it's safe to say that all times of the year are important.
Yeah.
They're not going to give you a set time frame. Oh my gosh, I keep noticing things. You also have a unicorn.
With planets on it.
Magical.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you're going to have a very magical year. And again, like maybe some astrology or something could be really important for you. But lots of good, exciting energy.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So hopefully that gave you some confirmation and gave you some exciting things to look forward to. And hopefully those are some good changes. Please go like the movie, go watch it if you haven't ever watched it. It's literally one of my favorite movies of all time. Great movie. We watched it like last week in preparation for this. But hopefully that resonated for you. Leave us a like, a comment, hit subscribe. Check out our other social medias, which are all linked in the description box below. We even have a Spotify playlist that I update weekly for us. So if you'd like to check that out, you can do that as well. Has all sorts of stuff on our Spotify. But yeah, hopefully that was really helpful. And we see you in our next reading.
Mm-hmm. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Happy Halloween. I almost said Merry Christmas.